Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
I mean, you fly in. You've flown in? You've flown in.
I'm always here.
Always here. I forget that. I forget that's the conceit. So you've flown in. How long was the flight? A long time.
A long time.
And then you get here.
And the guy I sat next to is off to a retail expo in Dusseldorf. Wasn't great chat for 17 hours. And this is what we get.
Dry chat.
Maybe
he composed this music.
There's every chance. I'm working on the assumption that he's not listening.
Might be.
God, that'll be bad.
Might be, and then he's texting in.
I'll feel terrible. But like, come on, guys. Like, we need more than this. We need more than this.
Yeah.
This show has record listening figures.
Record listening for a record amount of time.
Which is a surprise, certainly to us. There's nothing else on at this time of day. But you see...
Loads of good shows on.
Are there, really? Wow.
Don't tell people that. No, this is the only thing that's on.
So if that's the case, why are they giving us this music?
They hate us.
Whoa, hello.
They love us.
Suddenly I feel alive in the United Kingdom. What a great place. Now I'm here, maybe people will listen to my views on politics. Is that possible?
I think the two should mix.
I think it's a good idea.
That's the main thing.
Let's mix them. Here we go, everybody. Dance if you want to. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It is talkSPORT. My name's Max Rushden. Alongside me, Charlie Baker. And Charlie, this is just any warm-up.
This is the double award-winning, award-retired warm-up, Max, on Saturday, the 21st of February 2026. And at 12:30, it's West Brom v Coventry City in the Championship. It's a talkSPORT presented by Ollie Clinkety Clink. Commentary from Joe Shannon and former Liverpool women's striker Courtney Sweetman Kirk, the OB producer. Oh! It's Big Joe Shannon!
Long time ago, where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Did I been Cotton Eye Joe? I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Go get it! And then at 13 o'clock, it's Game Day Live with Hey! The best in the business. Adrian Durham, Scott Minty Minto, and Dean Splashton Ashton. It's on talkSPORT. Adrian, forget about it. The best in the business. Durham with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL, including Brentford, the Bees, versus Brighton, the Seagulls, Chelsea, the Blues, versus Burnley, the Clarets, and Aston Villa, the Villains, versus Leeds United, the Whites, plus a classified results service at 17:15. Nota Balazze. Adrian is at Brentford, Scott is at Chelsea, and Dean is at Aston Villa. At 15 o'clock, it's Wrexham versus Ipswich Town in the Championship. It's a talkSPORT exclusive. Presented by Ollie Clinkety Clink. Commentary from Adam Stamford Bridge and former Arsenal winger Perry the Guinea Pig Groves. The OB producer. Oh, it's Adam Brigg. A bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. Go get it! And then at 20 o'clock, it's Manchester City, the Citizens, versus Newcastle, the Magpies. In the Premier League, it's a talkSPORT exclusive, presented by Ian, the Duke of Nuts for Danter. Commentary from Sam, the Sausage Gilet Man, Smart Fast Meat Matterface, and former England captain Stuart, Psycho Pierce, the OB producer. Declan McCarthy!
Miles an hour would walk 500 more. The beat of man walked 1,000 miles to fall down at Shoot.
Da-da-da-da! Go get it! It's Big Ticket Live! Premier League and Championship action. You can't afford to miss.
Oh, well done, Charlie. Do you ever feel like we sort of halfway through thinking, are we actually on? It's on. People are excited, but Rodney says, wow, Max and Charlie together in the studio. Is the world coming to an end?
It's too much.
Go get it. Whenever there's a crisis in the royal family, I have to come back.
You have to come back, it's what it is.
Staunch royalist that I am. David says,
on his birthday.
what's the qualifying time for listening figures? I asked because I just left the radio on after Cass and Ahern. Come on, David. Just a coincidence that ear defender sales go up in line with warm-up listening figures.
Well, yeah, you've got to get it going.
Michael.
You've got to go get it. Get it going. Isn't it? That isn't my catchphrase.
You should know your. You
Just
should
get
know
it
your.
going.
Go get it, people, says Aaron. Great to have you back in the UK, Max says.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of the show, Gaz, the Wolves fan from Telford.
Yes.
May need your help later, Gaz, depending on
need you, Gaz.
people phone up for backwards footballers. Oh, we need to think of some backwards footballers, guys, just in case we do backwards footballers later. Great Britain is a better place to have you in it, Max, for Prime Minister.
Oh, that's nice.
Think I'll be good at it?
It might be available.
It's true, yeah.
It might be open.
This
very,
is what
very
I'm back
soon.
for. I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
Yeah, and also, look, don't mix politics and sport, Max.
No.
For goodness sake, I've told you.
Eddie says Perry is lab rat, not guinea pig. Get it right.
I always say guinea pig, and he's the lab rat. Why do I always say guinea
I
pig?
don't know. Very similar, aren't they? Martin, the Liverpool fan, says sings along. and oohs in sync. It's almost like you're both in the same room together. This is technology at its best. This hat, though, Charlie, says Barry, for listeners, and I know radio isn't for listeners anymore, but we are live on your smart TV and your stupid TV and on YouTube. Charlie has a Go Get It hat. This is your merch?
This is my own merch.
Right.
This is the example they've sent me.
Okay.
My tour goes on sale at the end of the week.
Do I
and
get
it's called Go Get It.
Okay.
And I've done a hat. I don't know. I'm not sure. I look up. It's a little bit MAGA. It's a little bit like I've won a prize. It's a little bit like you've taken me to Alton Towers, and you've got a free ticket,
and we've got a quick pass. You get to go to the front of the queue, don't you?
We'll go with it for a bit.
Never thought I'd miss Max's slightly out of time backing vocals, but says Chris in Brighton. This singing on this show is abysmal. You should get that bloke from the last leg to do it. He's really good, says Wayne. You were on telly yesterday, weren't you, Charlie?
Live last night. Yeah.
Well done. How'd you
bringing down the world?
Oh yeah. Okay. What were you dressed as?
Not dressed as anything. Actually.
Oh, you
own clothes.
Own clothes day. Did you have to pay 50p?
Yeah. Own clothes and singing a song about our departed prince.
Ed says, welcome back, Max. Morning, Charles. I was about to question whether quite so much Cotton Eye Joe was necessary on a Saturday morning. Then Bridge Over Troubled Water was very much a hold my beer moment.
Quite a lot of Cotton Eye Joe. But Big Joe Shannon, he warrants it.
Yeah.
He warrants it.
Yeah, Gary's he's only 3'4".
And he's not actually very big. Yeah. People do point that out to me that Joe's not actually that big, but
he's the shortest commentator going.
We could call him Cotton Eye Joe Shannon, but I don't think he's Big Joe Shannon.
I don't think he wants it on the, when he's actually doing it. When, they're doing, because all you have to do to host live football, right? They think it's the toughest gig in the game.
Tough,
it's actually a piece of cake.
Okay.
But you just have to get the phrasing right when you go. Thanks so much. Now it's time to hand to your commentators, Don Goodman and Joe Shannon. And you just have to get that. You just have to get the phrasing right.
Co-coms first and then...
Co-coms first and then... So exactly. Sure. It's Scott Minto and Conor McNamara.
We were going to do something else on the WhatsApp voice notes.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe we could get people to cross over to the commentary team on the WhatsApp voice notes.
Could you get the intonation exactly right? And your commentators, Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
So we need that from you. 03717 223344.
What else did you want on the WhatsApp
voice notes?
Charlie wanted, and I'm with you on this because it is the curling final. Yeah. It'll get 10 million people watching.
Oh, they love the curling.
There's nothing to do, and
but yeah, we thought we'd go live curling, but just the hold.
Yeah, if you've been following the curling, if you could voice note us, and we want you to convince us that you are actually curling. Just using your voice.
And anything you might have around the house. You might have a couple of brushes you want to rub together, sound like you're scrubbing.
Yeah. Good idea.
So
like the more effort you put in, the better for you.
You stand next to someone brushing their teeth and shout, hold, hold. It sounds a bit like the curling. Let's do that. So we want you to try and convince us that you are curling this morning, but also crossing over to commentators.
Yeah, Matt, it's funny how you sound worse, despite being 12,000 miles closer to the studio.
Your studio at home is really good,
isn't it? I know. Why doesn't everybody move to my shed? Everybody, I think Mrs. Rushden will be like, "What's that? Why is Jim and Simon in the shed every afternoon? What's happening there? What's going on? Why is Jamie O'Hara there in the morning? What's happening?"
Simon's burnt your shed down again.
Oh, not again! Come on. Anyway, it is Max and Charlie with you until 1. I had this idea. I know Quaker's waiting. No one's suggested this yet, right? But this is I just had this original thought. Why are you looking at me?
Who's best?
No. If Arsenal don't win the league, do you think they
some sort of bottled?
It's some. I'm trying to think of the do you think they've bottled it? That was no one said it yet.
Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it for the next 2 hours and 45 minutes. Who's the biggest bottle job? Text us now, 81089. It's Max and Charlie with you until 1. In conjunction with the good people of Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
I've got to talk about Celtic. You know, the title, I don't, you've been away, right? The title's blown open now. Celtic favourites, Rangers second favourite, Hearts third.
Yeah.
And I've been whinging, right? And maybe I shouldn't, because I don't go regular now. But I've been whinging about Celtic's lack of creation in midfield. It really annoyed me. I'm looking at the midfield saying, come on, we're better than that. Anyway, they got absolutely gubbed last night. But what I didn't know was, right from the first whistle, the old tennis balls came on.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill said something about it.
All I'm saying is this, right? I'm not trying to cover up a shocking result. Celtic got pumped, absolutely pumped, 4-1. But I'm not talking about that, because Stuttgart are probably a decent side, better than Celtic.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the players any good when you start that carry on.
Well, it gives the away team a lift as well.
As Martin said, Stuttgart players would know about the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Suddenly all these tennis balls come on, they're saying, "Oh, lovely."
We were talking about. I think Martin was talking about when Juventus, they were scared to go to Celtic Park. You know, the atmosphere, the hostility, all that sort of stuff. It's not an easy place to go and play, probably as a European side, but they make it probably easier.
I'm going to upset a few now. Celtic fans, did you throw a tennis ball after the first kick? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're very disappointed the way things are going now.
The bold and all that sort of stuff.
For God's sake, it doesn't do it before the game and after the game, not during the game. Honestly.
Morning all, it is the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Charlie Baker with you until 1. Marble says, I'm not curling today, but this is pretty bleak. In the late 90s, I had to visit an abattoir to do some IT work. Some of the lads were curling with a pig's head. It's a memory that's hard to forget. Crackers has been in touch. Hey, Crackers.
Morning, Crackers.
Given talkSPORT's heartland of listeners, asking callers to make the noise of curling on a Saturday morning after a Friday night might not be the greatest. So, come on, Crackers.
We're better than that.
Come on. The audience are better than that, and we're not.
Much better.
We're not much better than that. No, we don't. Those are not the voice notes we'd like to. If we're going to go out in style, that's not how we're going to do it.
Loads coming in. Unfortunately, the person who does them has popped out.
I've sent them to get coffees. Yeah.
So they might be.
The show actually runs smoother when I'm not here, doesn't it? Anyway, let's finally talk about 20 minutes in. You haven't even talked about sport. Let's do it right now with Kwaku Afari.
Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Kwaku Afari with me.
Kwaku Afari with me. Hey, welcome, Kwaku.
How you guys getting on?
Yeah, good, great,
Good, thanks. Let's get into it, shall we? At 8 o'clock tonight, live on talkSPORT, it's Man City, Newcastle.
Great game.
And a Man City win makes this title racing very, very tight, doesn't it?
It does. And Man City, they've been referred to as sharks, and they can smell blood in the water, especially after Arsenal dropped points during the week against Wolves. And so, yes, it's a huge game for Man City. They did lose to Newcastle at St James's Park in the league earlier on this season, but it was back-to-back wins in the League Cup semi-final. So they'll be going to this game full of confidence. And like you mentioned, cutting the gap down to 2 points, especially with the way the City would play in January, nobody would have expected this. And there's been a lot of talk about Arsenal possibly winning the quadruple But Man City are in the same position. Man City are still in all 4 competitions. And in 22-23, when they won the treble, it kind of crept up on everyone. Everyone talks about how Arsenal started the league and they're on 50 points after 19 games. But City end the season really strongly and won the treble. And so this is a City team that are getting stronger, made some good signings in January. And I know Newcastle have been on a decent run of form, 3 away wins in a row in 3 different competitions. But I expect City, who can close the gap to 2 points, to win this game later on tonight.
I have a question for both of you. No one is ever neutral, right? Whenever you watch a football match, even if you think you're a neutral, as soon as it starts, you start supporting a team. But as a vague neutral, okay, Quake, you're a Chelsea fan. You're a Torquay fan, Charlie. I don't know who I want to win the league.
There's something objectively very funny about Arsenal not winning it.
Coming second again. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And the way I've got lots of Arsenal supporting friends. You know, I sort of want the best for them in their lives, but Arsenal not winning it is the funniest outcome.
That is the funniest outcome, but in terms of pure football, the fact someone else winning it, someone that isn't Man City winning it, is also more interesting. So I don't know, Quaker, I don't know who I deep down want to not win the league, actually, is probably a more accurate question.
Yeah, well, from a tribal aspect, obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, and it would be funny to see Arsenal not win the league and finish second for the 4th year in a row. But in terms of the Premier League and I don't know, the meritocracy of the league, I think it would be good for a different winner. Man City and Liverpool have dominated the league for the last 8 years. There hasn't been a winner apart from those 2 in the Premier League since 2017, Antonio Conte's Chelsea side. And so Arsenal winning the league would be good for the league, but I agree with Charlie, it would be funny as somebody who supports Chelsea to see Arsenal fall short yet again.
What about this? Man City win the league, but then the charges come through. They get docked some points. So Arsenal win the league, but it's not really a win. And so neither of them really win it. Yeah, it's an asterisk win. So that for the neutrals is maybe the perfect one.
Quaker, I think the difference that we've seen in the second part of the season so far is Man City signings in the window. Excellent. Semenyo and Gay, some excellent signings. And because, you know, Victor Gyökeres has only just started to fire, isn't he? I feel like that it's really evened that up. It's really balanced it.
Yeah, it has. And I think that Pep saw something and smelt something in January, because Guehi and Semenyo were ready-made signings to come in and play straight away.
Yeah.
They've started the majority of games since coming in at Man City. If you look at last January when they signed Vitor Hais and Kuzanov and Marmoush, they were possibly players that needed to settle in and needed time to settle in. But these signings, I think, were made to come and make a big difference to Man City this season. And I feel like they've made a huge difference. Semenyo scoring goals, Guehi shoring things up at the back. And I think they've given City a great chance to win this league yet again.
Okay, games today then, apart from the City-Newcastle game, focus on the bottom of the table, don't they? Leeds go to Villa, Brighton still in danger, Hurts under a lot of pressure, go to Brentford, West Ham home to Bournemouth. So at the end of the day, which of those fans do you think will be smiling, if any, Kwaku?
I think West Ham fans will be smiling. West Ham take on the Bournemouth
Hang on, I don't know if West Ham fans have smiled for 20 years, but, you know, this might be the day.
Yeah, this might be the day. I feel like they've got the bit between their teeth and they've turned things around, and recent performances haven't garnered the results that they deserved. They were 2-0 up against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Should have won that game. They let it slip. They lost that game 3-2. 1-0 up against Man United. Were in control. Callum Wilson had the chance to kill that game off. They didn't, and Sesko scored a late equaliser. But if you just look at the way that West Ham are playing, it's completely different to the West Ham side we saw two months ago, and I fancy their chances today at home against Bournemouth, and I think they'll win, and they're going to close the gap, and the teams above them are looking over their shoulder. I look at a team like Brighton. They haven't won in 6. And I know they're 7 points above the drop, but their form is horrendous, and Fabian Hurst is feeling the pressure right now. And so if they lose today against a Brentford side who are unbeaten in the last 4, they'll definitely be looking over their shoulder and worrying about the rest of the season.
Chelsea-Burnley, Quaker, that's your team, isn't it? Chelsea, and I think Liam's doing a great job. Are the fans on board yet, Quaker?
Chelsea fans are fickle, as are all football fans, and if you're winning, we love you. If you're not, we don't. In terms of him getting the job, I think that I still stand by the point that he didn't have the credentials, qualifications to get the job, but you can't argue with the results. He's still unbeaten in the league. The only losses he suffered as Chelsea manager are against Arsenal in the League Cup, and so he's doing a good job so far. Wouldn't have been too pleased with Chelsea's last result against Leeds in the league at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea had the game slip. But yeah, this is an opportunity for them to right that wrong and put the dagger in Burnley, who I think are as good as down already. They've had a couple of decent results in recent weeks. A damaging result in the cup, losing against Macclesfield, and I think they're there for the take. And Chelsea should win this one.
Mansfield, just before they had one chance. Mansfield.
Sorry, Mansfield.
That's okay.
You only get the credentials on your CV if someone gives you the opportunity, if someone gives you the platform. Todd Bowley, very much a star.
Are you talking about yourself here?
Very much a star, mate. Kwaku. Do
you know what? I understand that point of view, and if you look at Arteta, for example, who's held up as a beacon of giving somebody opportunity and giving somebody time. He had no previous managerial experience. He was a number 2 at Man City, and he's done a great job, all things considered, at Arsenal. So I understand that it's about opportunity. I just think the way that Maresca was dismissed, it came as a surprise, especially considering the fact that he hit all his check marks. I think that's what Chelsea fans had the biggest problem with. But I've said this before. The years that Chelsea won the Champions League, they've changed managers halfway through the season. And I look at the landscape of European football, and there's an opportunity for Chelsea to go on a run in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, and really have a good season. And if they finish in the top 4 or 5 and win the trophy, then you can't deny that Rossini's done a good job, and the board probably made the right decision.
Thanks, Kwaku. Have a lovely day.
It's Kwaku.
Take care, guys.
Kwaku Afari there. Now on the WhatsApp voice note, 3717 223344. We've asked for either getting the intonation exactly right while you introduce co-coms and commentator of your choice, or convince us that you are currently curling. I think we've had a couple of those.
Okay.
I don't know who they're from. Who's the first one from? Do we have a name, or we just play it out? Oh, no name. Here we go. Anonymous curlers.
Like it. Go.
Yeah. Okay. Did you like that?
That was it. That was it. Do they shout curl?
I mean, I don't know. You're the one that's been watching. I've not been watching.
They shout sweet.
Well, let's hear. Let's hear the next one.
Hi. Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
That's more like it.
Yeah, okay, really good. Really, more of those. Anonymous curlers, please. Convince us that you're curling. 03717 223344. It's Max and Charlie with you until 1. And we'll do some Winter Game stuff in just a second.
Do you doubt that Jermaine can take Moses Atoma into the later rounds?
I think he's going to get knocked out. I do. I think I just know. And by the way, saying someone's going to get knocked out is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting Jermaine. I'm looking at the fight, looking at Moses Atoma, looking at what I've seen from Jermaine. And I think that ideally, I don't want to see an early fight. I want to see a good fight. I want to see Jermaine stick it on Moses Atoma. I want to see a good fight. And ultimately, we have an enjoyable evening watching two good fighters put something out. But I think Moses, I don't think he's been in with someone as quick and as fast and at this stage in his career. Going in with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White at their stages in their career is not the same going in with Moses. But on the other side of it, Moses isn't as experienced and as wise as those two fighters.
And that's
so there's a trade-off. But I think, personally, with due respect to the man sitting next to me, I think he's going to get knocked out by Moses.
But there's nothing to suggest that he will get knocked out because he's never been knocked down, never been knocked out.
And I'm happy to be wrong.
No, but what I'm saying
is
he's been, yeah, absolutely. But I say he had been in at the time with Anthony Joshua. Yeah, he was on a rebuild and a comeback, but that kid can whack, and he's still very, very dangerous. And Jermaine took some flush shots from him.
The big question about Anthony at that fight, and it's always been about Anthony, was he gun shy? And there was,
he was letting the shots go.
There was an allegation at that fight he was getting himself through that fight. Moses Atoma won't navigate this fight.
We'll see. Shy. See, that's the difference between skills and just watching it. I made him fight that way. It wasn't
Fair
that
enough.
he had to fight.
Fair enough.
I made it that way.
Fair enough.
It's different when you're in the ring.
Of course.
You know, so like everybody expects Moses to come out and fight this way or do this and do that. I won't let him.
No.
He's going to have to try. He's going to have to try and try again.
Win a trip to Cheltenham, Alan Brazil style, on talkSPORT.
Yes, fancy going to Cheltenham with talkSPORT for the Gold Cup. We're giving away the ultimate hospitality experience for two on Friday, March the 13th. You'll get full VIP treatment, four-course lunch, complimentary bar all day, celebrity tipsters and more. That's it. You have to get there on Thursday and have so much you don't turn up for Friday. That's how this competition works. You'll be experiencing the races the best way possible, and you'll get to meet some of us.
Yes, I will be there. Here's how to enter for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines closed 27th of February 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a talkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now.
Neil says, good luck, everybody, by the way. Neil doesn't say good luck.
Oh, good luck, everyone.
Terrific go-get-its yet again. I'm sure Max is back in the UK as he wants to be eighth in line to the throne. I can't be Prime Minister and King. God, that's about just too busy for me.
And Decker and heavyweight champion. It's a lot. You've come back for a lot.
Do you think if I was all those three things, I would make it on the photo of all the presenters on the board when you walk in?
You'd finally get some.
Would I finally get on there? There are guys on there that haven't done a show for about 3 years. What's going on? Not that I'm precious about it. Get me a magnet. Marzi says, morning lads, Marzi here, Newcastle fan, in the van on the way up to Edinburgh in the sunshine, Manchester accent. And always been a proper rave up for the go-get-its. I'm like a coiled spring until Max says dance if you want, then I'm away. Keeps the blood flowing whilst driving. I'm missing my son's under-10 game this morning. Concert Porto under-10. Shout out to them. Parents at the game are like a video printer, so I get live scores.
Oh, that's good.
My son James has never listened to your show, but regularly and randomly you'll hear him shout, go get it, in Charlie's voice.
Very nice.
Anyway, Okay, let's do. Well, look, we're asking on the WhatsApp voice notes. Could you try and convince us that you are currently curling? This attempt is from someone called Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Looks good. Looks good. Leave it. Leave it. Looks good.
It looked good till the end.
Yeah, that's always the way, isn't it?
It looked good till the end, and then I'm hoping that was him doing some in the background.
Yeah, it was.
It was good.
Yeah,
Yes,
what you're suggesting, Charlie.
Nice. I'm not suggesting anything.
Filthy mind.
It's because you're here. I'm showing off.
Yeah, you know. Stop showing off because your friend's around. You don't behave like
my
this.
friend here, and I'm showing off.
Right, let's talk to Michael Wheelock then, who is out there in Milan, Cortina. Big day for curling, eh, Michael?
Oh, Michael.
Oh, huge day for curling. I think brushing was the word that you were looking
brushing.
for
That
there.
was it.
Brushing,
Of course, thank you, Michael. But he was good, was convincing, wasn't it? Adam was good at that. It sounded like he transported us there.
Yeah.
He was definitely brushing. They're calling this potentially a Super Saturday after Team GB's Super Sunday of last week, as you say. All eyes will be on the curling stadium in Cortina later on because it is the final of the men's curling. Team Moa, the team there of Bruce Moa, Bobby Lammy, Hammy McMillan and Grant Hardy will be looking to go one better than they did 4 years ago when they won the silver medal in Beijing. But they come up against those Canadians who we've spoken about quite a lot
the dirty
at these
cheats.
games. You can say that. You can say that. I might have to see them later, so I won't. Brad Jacobs is the skip in the final. They had a 7-2 record, 7 wins, 2 defeats in the round robin. They actually beat GB 9-5 in the round robin as well. But it's Canada in the final then for Team Moa. And that is just one of 2 medal chances, 2 really good medal chances tonight. There will be a guaranteed medal, of course, for GB in that one. There could be a medal as well on the snow in the women's free ski half pipe later because Zoe Atkin, who is the world champion and the X Games champion, she's qualified in Livigno at the snow park there in first place. And that final will be taking place at the same time. And there's loads going on at the minute to tell you about as well. I'm absolutely addicted to watching this 50-kilometre cross-country skiing, which is taking place right now in Tesoro. And Great Britain have got 2 in it, Andrew Musgrave and Joe Davis. Now, Andrew Musgrave is in his 5th Olympic Games. He's had finishes at these games of 5th, 6th and 7th. And he's very much in contention at the moment in this 50K cross-country.
Wow.
And one other headline from this morning, after the first run in the men's 4-man bobsleigh, Great Britain sit 3rd with Brad Hall, Taylor Lawrence, Greg Cackett and Leon Greenwood. So it's all building up to be a really good day at the Games.
Did you see that? I know the 50K skiing is sort of, that's on the flat, isn't it, pretty much? The skiing uphill
that was good,
was
wasn't it?
absolutely amazing. I mean, you just think, God, those calves are going to be burning.
The ski mountaineering, which is a brand new event here at these Games. I mean, what an addition to the programme, where you kind of have to also take off your skis and then put them in your backpack, run up some steps,
Book a flight home, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's an amazing bit, isn't it? You know?
You go up. They put skins on the bottom of their skis, and that's when they do the uphill bit. Then they have to take the skis off. So there's like a triathlon style transition, and then they carry the skis, as I say, up some steps, and then have to put them back on, take the skins off, and then do a downhill ski. It's absolutely brilliant.
Up steps feels a lot, doesn't it?
In ski boots, it's tough, isn't it? Those clippy-cloppy ski boots.
Should have an escalator for that bit.
Yeah, maybe. So, come with the curlers then. What chance do you give the curlers, Michael?
Well, I think they've got an excellent chance because I've been saying all the way through these games, it's not necessarily how you start the Olympics, it's how you finish. And we saw that in the mixed team, which Bruce Mowat and Jen Dodds were in together. They were absolutely brilliant in the round robin, but they kind of just run out of steam towards the end of that tournament, finished 4th, missed out on a medal. Now, the men will say that they are a little bit lucky to have made it to those knockout stages, but they were excellent in their semi-final. And I think the fact that they lost to Canada in the round robin, I wouldn't read too much into that. I don't think that necessarily means, and we've seen it time and time again in this Olympic curling tournament, that teams that have lost to a team in the round robin have then subsequently gone on and beaten them in the knockout stages. So I think for Bruce Mowat and the boys, world champions, of course, going into this as well, They've been the standout curling quartet over the past 2 or 3 years. This feels very much to me like a bit of a destiny moment. They've taken a bit of a hard road to get there, but I do feel tonight that everything is set up for them to try and win that gold medal that would be Great Britain's fourth, a record-breaking fourth of these games.
I always think every 4 years when it goes, the country goes wild for the curling, absolutely mad. Everyone's talking about it for about a week. I always think the people who then invest in loads of curling stuff, and then it just drops off.
No one invests in curling.
I think they do.
Stuff.
We're going to go curling rinks.
No one's
like
got
paddle courts everywhere, aren't they? Yeah. They've sprung up paddle for people who find tennis too hard. It's like sprung up everywhere. Curling rinks everywhere for the next year, and then they've all gone out of business. There we go. Also, Michael, knowing all 4 names on the curling team is good if you're ever on Pointless.
Oh, yeah. That is
if you ever get on Pointless, I can see you on Celebrity Pointless, Michael. You'd be great. If Olympic medalists came up to know all 4 of those names.
I don't think I'd be invited onto Celebrity Pointless, but I appreciate the nod.
The campaign starts here,
campaign. We will not stop. Nothing will stop us. We will concentrate on nothing on this show. The Premier League can forget it until Michael Weedock is on Celebrity Pointless. Are you listening, Osman? Are you listening, Armstrong? Get Weedock on Celebrity Pointless and make it happen now.
Never has a programme been more aptly named as Pointless Celebrities.
Don't put yourself down,
As a champion of that, Michael, I withdraw my support of you being on it.
I'm 100%. Hashtag get Weedock on Pointless. We're trying to get Dave Allen on Tenable. So look, we've got fingers in pies here. We know
it doesn't even exist anymore.
Does it not exist?
We have to get that recommissioned.
Oh, that's hard work, isn't it? Look, we'll do what we can, Michael. We'll keep you posted. Thanks, pal.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Michael Weedock there. Out in Milan, Cortina for the Winter Games. Come on the curve. What time is it on? I should have asked.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock
It's
tonight.
an 8 o'clock start, I think.
Are we listening to Man City Newcastle on talkSPORT? May have the TV on with the volume down. Yeah, that's true. Multitask. The curling and the freestyle half pipe. That's what I. What are you laughing at? That's what it's
Nothing.
called. Doesn't not everything is in the Urban Dictionary, Charlie?
It just sounds.
Stop showing off. Stop. Someone else, Charlie. Can we get your dad on the phone to tell you to stop showing off? This is the warm up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Now, excitingly, it is the semi-final draw of How Tall Are They coming up in just a second.
They've changed the manager, which is what the fans wanted. I was at their last home game against Newcastle United, and it just felt like the players were completely on the floor, just didn't have the answers, didn't look interested or committed to the manager's plan. How will it be different under Igor Tudor, and has he had enough time to work with his players, Crook?
I'm intrigued by this appointment because obviously one of the main factors is he's proven in the past that he can come into a team in a difficult situation, give them an uplift, put wins on the board, which obviously Spurs need to steer themselves away from relegation danger. But as Southampton found with Ivan Juric last season, who had a similar profile, there's a big difference between doing that in European leagues and coming into the Premier League and doing it. I do think you're right. I think the atmosphere around the stadium will be a lot more positive on Sunday than it has been previously. I think the change of manager, the fact it's not Thomas Frank anymore as much as anything, makes this a more difficult fixture for Arsenal. But what happens if they go behind early? What happens if they lose this game? That lightning rod effect that the Spurs hierarchy are obviously hoping for suddenly evaporates quite quickly.
Yeah, it's slightly different in terms of the profile of the manager. I mean, you keep comparing Juric to Tudor, but Juric basically only managed teams in Italy, Genoa, and Hellas Verona down the bottom of the table. Igor Tudor has managed Marseille, Lazio, and Juventus. So it is a slightly different.
How many of those were in relegation
manager.
trouble when he took over?
Hello, I wish I was a little bit taller.
Pointless Michael in Milan Cortina says, hello, Max and Charlie. The curling finals at 6:05
Wow.
PM. So, yeah.
What a fool.
I'd like to turn off at 8.
And it's over.
Anyway, big moment now. Probably the biggest sporting moment of the weekend. It is the semi-final draw for How Tall Are They?
Been exciting. What a
It's been an amazing competition.
What a tournament.
And it started way back at the end of Autobiography Wars in 2020. I'm going to say 25, 24. Has it been on a year and a half? And because it's gone like that.
Life goes fast.
Life goes fast. Anyway, let's hear how the semi-finalists made it this far.
And now it is the first day, or the first weekend of the Premier League season, but something bigger is happening right now on talkSPORT as we introduce the first ever 20-team league of How Tall Are They? Nobody asked for it. Perhaps nobody wants it. But this is what you're going to get. How tall are they for the next 190 shows?
Hello, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was
How tall is Simon Jordan?
I think Si is 6 foot.
He's 6 foot! He's done it! He's done it! Straight in! Bullseye! He's knocked out Adrian Clark! Can you believe it? How tall is Beth England?
5'5".
Boom! Let's go something now. Everybody's learning how to make a glory with me. This is interesting.
Okay, how tall, Nigel?
Love to Nigel.
Love to Nigel. Is Barry Banish? Barry Bannonish.
5'7".
He's 5 foot.
He's 5'7".
I can't believe it.
Fine out. Calvin Bass.
Bahassian.
6'1".
Guilty. Send him down.
So there we are. Oh, it's a good show, this, isn't it?
Noisy, isn't it?
Noisy, but quite fun.
Embarrassing when you hear yourself younger and you sound...
The first ever, and now the first we started this as a 20-team league, and Charlie bottled it because I wanted to play home and away 20 teams, and I think a few of the players weren't answering their phone after a while, going, "You've got another game. You've got 38 games of this."
Bottler.
So anyway, some numbers to look out for. Perry Groves is 1. There's some numbers to look out for. Okay, it's time for the draw. The draw will be. To do the draw is star of stage and screen, Charlie Baker. Welcome to the show, Charlie.
Thanks so
Baker.
much. Go get it. My tour is on sale at the end of the week.
Okay. Where are you going around the country?
Around the country, yeah. Stand-up singing, tap dancing, the lot.
Okay, it's got everything. I like the hat you're using.
Thanks, it's merch.
Okay, let's go get it merch. If you could just give the hat a bit of a wobble, please.
Give your head a wobble, mate.
Thank you so much.
Here we go.
Thank you so much. Okay, so to do the draw, it will be Charlie. But Charlie will be drawing the home teams. Well, obviously it's semi-final. It's 2 legs, so it's not a neutral venue. Charlie will be drawing the home teams, and Charlie Baker will be drawing the away teams in the style of Rod Stewart. Have a glass of Chenin Blanc, and here we go. Number 1, Perry Groves. Will play.
Number 3.
Graham the Judge Courtney. Perry Groves versus Graham Courtney in the first semi-final of How Tall Are They 2024 to 2026.
Number 4.
Number 4, Nigel Adderley.
Number 2.
We'll play Kwaku Afari.
Wow, mate. Love
that
to Nigel.
concludes the draw. Matches to be played the week commencing Saturday, February the 28th. Just to recap for you, Perry Groves will be playing Graham Courtney. Nigel Adderley will be playing Kwaku Afari. We can get some reaction immediately from Love to Nigel. Nigel Adderley, welcome, Nigel.
Hello, Nigel.
How are we doing?
Yeah,
very
good,
good,
thank
thanks,
you.
Nige.
So you've been drawn at home to Kwaku Afari in the first leg. Some people would have said going away from home would have been a better way to start the semi-final, but how are you feeling?
Well, I've had my best results away from home
It's
so
interesting.
far, I have to say. I've often come from behind. I think that it might have been 3 or 4 years ago I was involved in one of the knockout rounds. I can't remember. I think it actually predates Charlie's character being killed off in EastEnders. It's so long
Bring
ago.
back Tim Reynolds.
Yeah.
He wasn't killed off. He's not dead.
So you're sort of very much, you're very much the Bazball of this, that you like to chase. And I suppose that for Kwaku Afari, we can go live to Kwaku Afari now. Kwaku, your reaction to drawing Nigel Adderley in the semi-final of How Tall Are They?
Yes, I'm a fan of playing the first leg away from home. I think at home I've got more of an advantage. I want to make up for the last round though. It was a terrible performance up against Lars Siversen, and I think this is time for me to turn it around. I'm confident going to semi-final.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah. And what are your tactics going to be, Kwaku?
Get the heights right.
That's it.
That's a great tactic.
That's it. Go on.
Look at Nigel Adderley now. He's not thought of that. He shouldn't have said that out loud.
You know,
He's giving away his tactics there, Nigel.
he's taken the game into a whole new era. You know, it's like this is like 2016, Pep Guardiola arriving in the Premier League. Now we've been playing this a certain way for 120 years, and now Kwaku's just taken it in a completely different direction. And
revolutionary.
I don't know how I'm going to cope.
Okay, well, that's exciting stuff, isn't it? Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nigel. Love to Nigel.
See you in the semis, Kwaku.
Wow,
Yeah, thank you, Kwaku.
Mate.
That's really good.
Kwaku changed location.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
From where he was earlier on. It's just a new green screen.
Now, Graham Courtney couldn't give his live reaction because he doesn't want to talk about the game before the game. He wants to drive to Carlisle instead. You can probably hear.
He's in session at the moment.
Is he?
Guilty.
He's actually right. He's sending down some youths. That's what he's doing. Get them off the street, get them out of their hoodies, and get them in the slammer. That's what I want. You can listen to me on Breakfast on Talk
Bring
Radio
back
next
national
week.
service.
Exactly, absolutely. Put all children in prison. It's phone me now. But we can't hear the judges' music because that's basically why this whole competition exists.
Guilty.
Send him down. 25 years.
No parole.
Overruled.
There we are. I wonder what the judge will do and try and do. The judge will try and
See, he plays a sort of... He plays it dumb.
pretends it like he doesn't care.
Pretends he doesn't care. Pretends he's never heard of these people.
Yes.
You know.
A few people I'm sad to see the back of is Alan Biggs. Always liked Alan Biggs in the tournament.
Do you want to hear? Since we have 1 minute. Yeah.
They were always sad.
There was an issue with Alan Biggs because obviously quite a long time ago, tobacco advertising was banned.
Yes.
But he always did the competition in one of those sort of Formula One Nigel Mansell, just had Rothmans written all over it.
And didn't he have his mother-in-law play with him?
He had his mother-in-law play with it. And the thing was, him, Alan Biggs, and Alan Biggs' mother-in-law, in one game of How Tall Are They got through 58 cigarettes.
It was amazing.
It was quite...
It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, man, wow.
There we are.
So just in case you were interested,
Do you want all the players who've gone out, Max? Or?
Sam Ellard, Shabana Hearn, Angelina Kelly, Katie Shanahan, Charlotte Richardson, Andy Jacobs, Lucy Ward, The Sizzler, Matt Jones, Alan Biggs, Joe Shannon, The Munter, Sal Ahmed, Jim Chappers Chapman, whoever that is, Christine Fox. Oh, yes, Christy hasn't showered. Still hasn't showered, Christine Fox. Absolutely rinks. Izzy Minter, Richard Guy Bristow, Barry Glendenning, Lars Siverton, Kevin Day, Rupert Bell, Ollie Klink, Adrian Clark, Shane Parrott, Uma Gurav, Tim Vine, Paul Hawksby and Danny Kelly.
All out. All great names, but all out.
All great names, all out, but all will be in the plate competition because we've got the semi-finals, so that's the next 4 shows. Then we have the final.
What are we going to do after that?
What are we going to do after that? Is there any is there a competition happening in football this summer that we could, is there anything out that we could sort of grab onto the coattails of?
We need to find out. We need to think of something to fit that gap.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to be sat here in silence for those 50
Martin,
minutes.
the Sunderland fan, says, in case you two Muppets think no one notices, when halfway through the show you ostensibly sing along to the very same music you slag off at the beginning. Please.
Leave us alone.
Martin, do not peel back the curtain of this, okay? We've carefully thought it out. We don't need people deconstructing what this programme is. This is award-winning, award-retired broadcasting of the highest order.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone, all of you. If you could all just leave us alone right now, just to reiterate that.
Alan
draw again.
Siggs says.
Alan Siggs. Here we go. The draw in full. If you can't remember it, Perry Groves will play Graham Courtney. Nigel Adley will play Kwaku Afari. Those games to be played the week commencing Saturday, the 28th of February, 2026. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us for the draw.
Appreciate it.
And hopefully you'll stay around for the next couple of hours.
For the next 2 hours.
Good stuff.
Contractually obliged.
This is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
But when you hear these comments that he's come out with now, to say he cannot get the best out of the players that have come in, if that those words just come out of his mouth, then as an owner, you've got no choice now. You have to say, like, okay, he's coming out now publicly and saying he can't get the best out of top players as well, by the way. Brendan Johnson is a very good player. Okay, you can't get the best out
Is
of
he
him.
daring the board to sack him?
It sounds
100%.
It sounds like it. And by the way, I know that they missed out on Dwight McDeal. That deal didn't quite get over the line on deadline day. But there was a lot of optimism in the Palace hierarchy because of the addition of Brendan Johnson, because Jurgen Strand-Larsen has come in and obviously scored a couple of excellent goals. Guessond as well. And they kept Mateta. He's not fit at the moment, but should be back sometime soon. They feel there are more than enough weapons in that Palace team to be winning games of football, and one winning 15 is not good enough.
It feels like he's playing chicken a little bit with the hierarchy, isn't he? Because he's saying, I'm not good enough at the moment. I can't do this job. It's very hard for me, blah, blah, blah. And Palace are in a situation where they're obviously like, well, you've already said you're going to leave at the end of the season. You've got a contract to fulfill. You need to fulfill that. Yeah. We're not just going to pay you up for the sake of paying you up so you can have a 3-month holiday and prepare yourself for a new job. Quite rightly so, by the way. But at the same time, Palace are in a predicament where they've won 1 game in 15. They might go out of Europe if they don't buck their ideas up next Thursday. And they don't want to lose to Wolves on Sunday either, because if that happens, they could find themselves in a relegation battle. So they're in a sort of catch-22 situation. He knows that, and he's daring them, Gabby.
Yeah, but in that press conference, he's gonna lose the fans, those that were still standing by him. He's going to lose the ownership, and he's probably going to lose the players as well if he's turning around saying, "Look, I'm not good enough for you guys."
Monaco, Singapore, Las Vegas. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all F1 street circuits. 20 years ago, the sports only visited 3 a year. From 2026, there'll be 10, despite the actual racing often being worse. So why? Why are there so many street circuits? Cars racing past the Casino Monte Carlo is one of the iconic images in all of sport. But in the last few years, it's been joined in the Street Circuit Club by the dazzling Grand Prix on the Las Vegas Strip, in Miami, Azerbaijan and others. And there's no sign of the trend slowing down. The streets of Madrid have also gotten involved, and there are conversations about Grand Prix in the capitals of Thailand and Rwanda. But fitting them in means we said goodbye to classic circuits like Hockenheim and Imola, angering fans who are still packing out the European tracks like Spa, the Hungaroring and Monza. And these generally produce more wheel-to-wheel action than street circuits too. At Silverstone in 2025, there were a total of 26 on-track overtakes. At Monaco, 4. I'm an F1 enthusiast. Even I struggle with that. But it appears to be a good step. In 2025, there was a record 2.3 million strong viewership for the Monaco Grand Prix in the US alone. Meanwhile, for the British Grand Prix several weeks later, 1.5 million tuned in. So why are we seeing this drive towards street circuits? Well, no prizes for guessing. Money. Formula One demands a fee of between $20 and $60 million for the rights to even hold an event. In total, including sponsorships, it's believed officials in Saudi Arabia pay almost $100 million for their race. The huge fees are possible because of the street track's city centre locations, as people staying at hotels at inflated prices and tourist sites brimming with visitors mean the cities rake the cash back in when the race comes to town. So it makes financial sense for Formula One and the cities, but will it cost the sport in the long run if F1 races are too boring? After all, nothing beats the roar of an F1 car as it flies through the forests of Europe, or mechanics watching a storm coming across the humid Asian countryside. Take that away and, well, you may as well just watch American IndyCar.
Steve says, so just to confirm, we're now listening to highlights of How Tall Are They? That's amazing. The greatest radio heist lives on. Don't ever stop, boys. That draw was epic, says Ryan. And to think listening to talkSPORT is free. Even when we knew the other semi-finalists, there was a tension in the air that made us all wonder if we actually knew. Excellent broadcasting. Has Charlie mentioned Virgin Radio yet?
Not yet. 2 till 6 though. Game on.
Suffocated kumquat wrap.
Goals as they go in.
I like a bit of faff as much as the next guy, but 20 minutes on how tall are they is borderline
Perhaps should have put in something else.
abusive to your listeners.
Maybe we should have heard some curling or something. We were asking people to
Too late now. We've done it now.
We've done it now. Don't look back.
Aaron said, do you want to come to the How Tall Are They final? Aaron says yes. Minister Paul, yes, if there'll be chocolate fingers available. Not sure if I want to come to the live final. Sorry, lad, says Joe, the Chelsea fan.
That's all right.
Depends on the date, says Jamie. I might have other things on. Got tax stuff needs sorting. Will it be after April? Anyway, right now, let's look ahead to today's action with the good people of Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Destination football on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Welcome, Lars Sivertson.
Hey, Lars.
It's more in sync than usual.
Well,
today,
that's how it is.
I have to
Don't know what's happened there.
Do you notice that as soon as I'm knocked out of How Tall Are They?
Yeah.
Audience really starts to turn on the whole concept.
They've really gone again it.
It's not a coincidence. It's
No.
not a coincidence. Having said that, obviously Craig would deserved his win. I'm not saying anything otherwise.
Sounded bitter, Lars.
Sounded really
Sounded
bitter.
Well, it is. But I'm not gonna lie. It is a little bit bitter.
You look like you're in my bedroom, Lars.
I am in an
My
Airbnb
bedroom looks
in
like
Oslo.
that. Are you?
I'm
would
in
be
an
sick of
Airbnb in Oslo. It's one of those where you arrive and the place is a lot smaller than you thought it was going to be. We've all been there. It happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be sinister, but also marvellous if you had made it to Charlie's bedroom for this. Look, should we
Do
start?
we have the budget for that? I mean,
I don't
one
think so.
one
I
to
don't
one
think so.
weekend just
You
transport
couldn't
me
buy
to
Mrs.
Charlie
Baker.
Baker's bedroom.
You couldn't buy Mrs. Baker. There's not enough money.
Let's do some Crystal Palace first. Can we just listen to what Oliver Glasner said yesterday?
We're not in the best moment right now, and to be honest, it's like now, and I understand. I take responsibility for everything because I'm responsible for the whole team, and it's right now. You know, I'm just not good enough to replace the players we sold. I'm just not good enough to integrate the new players in a way that we can play the same way like we did. And I'm not good enough that we can cope with the schedule we had.
You've said that you've not been good enough in the last few weeks. Are you confident that you can be good enough to lead this side until the end of the season?
Oh, let's see. I always said, and this was, I think, the first press conference that why I can just repeat myself, you know. And as I said, you know, as a manager, you always depend on your players, and they will get all the support like always, and then we will see.
Do you still want to be here until the end of the season?
Oh, let's see what the future brings. We never know.
Oliver Glasner there, Max. My vibe is it's a staring match. I think when he said, I don't know what you think, Lars. I think that when he said, I'm leaving at the end of the season, he thought they'd pay him off till the end of the season and they'd find someone new. And they've gone, all right, well, see you till the end of the season. And he's now like, oh, God, that's my feeling.
I'm glad you played that bit of audio because I read the quotes on paper and I thought I really want to hear his tone of voice when he's saying this because it's one of those. No, I don't disagree with your analysis there. He does sound like a man who'd be perfectly happy to be paid out of the remainder of his contract. But I just think I want to start out by saying, I mean, they've got 1 win in 15, isn't it, now, Palace? And I think if you're a Palace fan and you're paying to watch them at home or even away, you are entitled to be very frustrated with that. And you're entitled to be very frustrated by the fact that your manager seems a lot less keen on being there than you do when you buy your tickets. But there is also, like, if we're trying to see the other side of this, if we're trying to defend his whole vibe, he took them to a very high level, you know, last season, won the cup. The team was really going very well. And then they get like completely gutted in the transfer market. You know, they keep losing their best players and they're replaced, but maybe not replaced convincingly. And then it all falls to the manager to try to do as well as he did before these very important players left. And that isn't always easy. So he's probably quite frustrated with the situation. He also does go on to say something about how having this number of points at this point in the season would be considered good many other seasons for Palace. I mean, Palace, am I right in saying, I don't think Palace have finished in the top half of the table since they got promoted back in 2013. It's mostly like 11th, 14th, thereabouts. They're 13th now. Yeah, the recent form is dreadful, but this is not a disastrous situation for Palace to be in. But it is very frustrating, and I want to be clear. Like, I completely get if you're paying tickets every week to watch a team that hasn't won in 15. You are fully entitled to be frustrated.
Yeah.
But that just kind of highlights that there's frustration all around. I think everyone's frustrated with this situation. I think the coach is frustrated. I think the players are frustrated. There's a lot of frustration going around. Understandable frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're Steve Parish, you just think, well, let's just do it in the summer, right? He's going, let's just stick it out. It's not gonna. There are lots of teams down right. Lots of teams are in trouble, right? They're 1 point ahead of Brighton, who we are constantly saying are still in trouble. So they're not out of it because their form is so bad. But it would be very surprising, given there are other. West Ham have what? 8 points less than them. That is some going. West Ham have turned it around a bit, but they should be fine, shouldn't they?
I mean, that's the whole West Ham are the key here, aren't they? When we're talking about the relegation battle, when we're talking about whether there really is one. I mean, what's Daniel Farke's situation at Leeds, the Brighton situation, all this. If West Ham win a couple more games, then suddenly things could potentially look a little spicy. But the trick is, I mean, maybe we'll get to that. West Ham's fixture list is really tough. They play Bournemouth today, which it's not the worst, but then they've got Liverpool, they got Fulham away, they got Brentford, they got Man City, and they got Aston Villa. So that's one of those that are in the FA Cup, the Brentford game, but they've got a tough run now, West Ham. But if they pull off a couple of unexpected wins in that run, then there are a few teams down there. Like, we're still just in February. There's a few teams down there that would start getting nervous. But I do concur that the thinking is probably we're not going to get relegated. It's not that easy to find a good interim manager that you like. I mean, there's going to be a big managerial merry-go-round. I mean, I think even merry-go-round does it a disservice. Like, this is going to be like it's the whole theme park this summer with it's the roller coaster, the merry-go-round, the log flume or whatever it's called. Like, all of those things are happening on the managerial market this summer. So that makes sense to wait to. But the vibes are bad. Like, I mean, do you want to do almost like many months of this?
Yeah, I know it's tough, isn't it? Speaking of interim managers who've got a job on, Igor Tudor tomorrow, the North London derby, who can instantly become a total hero or instantly be like, oh, why have we got this bloke? And it's sort of, look, Arsenal are, they've had 2 bad results in a row. It does make this, it's so fascinatingly poised, this game, even though Tottenham have no fit players and probably won't win.
I did enjoy Igor Tudor being asked if he'd enjoyed taking Tottenham training, and he said no. He was there to work. He's not. Which I think I know what he means, but I also kind of think that was an outreach to the fans, who of course have also not been enjoying watching Tottenham Hotspur football players play football this year. We are in the same boat there, my friend. I just think the injury list is ridiculous. Like, it's been said so many times, but they've got an entire 11 out now. I mean, they've got quite a good 11 out. Spurs. I don't think there's any team in the league that has the squad to fully cope with that. It's so interestingly poised, this derby, because Arsenal really are wobbling. Like, that draw against the Wolves is scandalous. Like, you can't be doing that when you're trying to win the league. And it's also, what is this, 2 wins in 7 in the league now? That's really not very good. But they're coming up against Tottenham, who could potentially have some kind of new manager bounce, but then half the squad is missing. So he's
not a manager that scored loads of goals, is he? Around all his jobs, they brought in someone to basically shore it up.
Yeah, what he is, Igor Tudor, he is a guy who has a track record of coming in and having a quick impact. He's done that several times. Okay. He's had a number of quite short managerial stints. I think we talked about this last weekend. His teams have typically been quite aggressive, like physically. His teams have typically gotten stuck in. Not always too defensive. I mean, he's had them pressing a little higher sometimes, but they like to be physical. His teams have in the past, and they've been attacking quite directly. They're not a lot of faffing about with the ball. Win your 50s and get the ball forward. There's been a bit of that. I would expect, given the circumstances and also given the limitations of the Tottenham squad that we've spent half the season talking about, I don't think they do have quite a lot of quite aggressive guys, quite physically decent guys, Tottenham, who can. It's not the worst fit in the world. I think this makes more sense than bringing in someone like Roberto Di Zerbi mid-season, who wants to play this sort of very intricate passing football through the middle, and then you look at the Tottenham midfielders and you think, I wouldn't. That's not ideal. And I think Tudor, while he's not a name to maybe inspire too many, his track record and the way he's worked before, it does kind of make a little bit of sense in the circumstances.
It's going to be 90 minutes of defending Arsenal corners and free kicks.
No, but it's not just going to be. I mean, it is. I don't think it's just going to be defending. I don't think like I think they will. They will show
on Sunday,
intensity.
it'd be Arsenal,
No, I
basically.
don't think it will be. I mean, obviously, when you don't have the ball against Arsenal, you have to every team. No one is like flying out when Arsenal have the ball. But I don't know what you make finally, Lars, because we're slightly tight for time on Arsenal's form. Don't apologise, Charlie. It's fine.
I thought we had two sections with Lars because we normally do, and I realised we don't.
No, we don't. But I just ask on Arsenal, Lars, what do you make of this little blip, and how serious do you think it is for them?
It's really causing my brain to sort of misfire a little bit because, listen, I like, as any listener to this segment will know, I like my stats, I like my facts, I like things we can quantify because we have proof, we have evidence, because so much of like football chat and football punditry is just people saying, I think this because that's what I think. And you can just kind of make stuff up, but especially if you're an ex-player, you can just say, well, I played the game, so I think this. You never have to quantify anything. So I always kind of look for data because that feels solid to me. That feels like a kind of truth you can lean onto. And the data would still suggest that Arsenal are the best team in the league. They've got a great defensive record. They're not the best attack in the league, but they're one of the best attacks in the league. They don't have a big injury crisis on. There is no logic to suggest that they should suddenly be doing this. But this is where it comes in another thing I really believe in, perhaps contradictory. I do think psychology is huge in football, in sports, in life. And it's hard, as much as the data doesn't really support it, it's hard to get away from this idea that they must be feeling the pressure because if you look at the goals they've been conceding recently, they're so weird. Like there's so many strange, the defenders who have been brilliant all seasons who are suddenly making like really odd mistakes that you've not been seeing. That makes me think the pressure is a thing.
Yeah.
And that's when you start thinking about Arteta. Now I think Arteta doesn't get enough credit for restoring Arsenal to a credible title challenger. But you do wonder, is he setting the right tone from a leadership perspective? Is he taking the pressure off them? Is he managing to calm them down? Because he seems really anxious as well all the time on the touchline. So there's just so much anxiety there. Playing Tottenham, famously, Dr. Tottenham with half their squad out is probably not the worst challenge they could have this weekend. But it is weird what's going on, and I think that you have to look at the pressure thing. You have to look at the psychology of the situation.
XB, expected bottling. That's what it is. Thank you, Lars. always a pleasure.
Okay. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
That was a look ahead to some of the players we think will be here for it and deliver this weekend with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll do some Scottish Premiership in just a second.
Destination Football on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Mourinho, one of the best managers of our generation. But I'll tell you what, he's lost a lot of fans. He's lost a lot of neutral fans. And I just felt his comments were disgusting. For one, Vinicius Jr., if he wants to run to the corner flag and do a dance that a lot of Brazilian players do, Cunha danced when he scored against Arsenal, didn't receive racial abuse from anybody, any player. So Vinicius Jr. is allowed to dance. And also, Eusebio is one of our best ever players. This club cannot be racist. What does that mean? Because your best ever player was black. That means no one else can be racist to do with your football club. And also, no one says Benfica was a racist football club, did they? It was alleged that a player had been racist. So why is Mourinho protecting the football club when no one's said that Benfica are a racist football club. Very odd.
Well, Benfica are not a homogenous group, are they? They're made up of individuals, and Prestiani is his own individual, and he's the one who's accused of the racism. It's not like everyone's accusing the club of it. It just seems a little bit strange that now Benfica have come out in support of him, almost suggesting that there is sort of a defamation campaign against him. And the problem here is that we'll never be able to prove the contrary, because all you've got is eyewitness statements of people who say that they've heard it. But if he sits there and says, "Oh, I didn't say that," or "I didn't mean that," then there is very difficult to prove. Like lots of different cases across the world, if you're in a court of law, you have to prove it in order to punish.
Win a trip to Cheltenham, Alan Brazil style, on talkSPORT.
Charlie and I were having this conversation about our careers. Did it go out on air? What are we thinking? Who are we thinking?
No.
No. It doesn't matter. I'm open with Charlie. I'm open with the audience.
I didn't think we were doing anything with this music.
No.
We are now, are we?
No, we like to think about horse racing, so just turn it up a bit. Turn it up. Here we go.
This is good music.
Pour on Robert Grieve talking Scottish Premiership. It's been like, should we do
his
that?
music?
This is Robert Grieve's music, yeah.
It's Scottish
We'll do the racing bit later. There's a competition for Cheltenham. Stay tuned for that. But Robert has been hanging around for ages. And there is finally a title race in Scotland. So, look, we should at least let him come on air, for goodness sake. Robert, how are you?
Robert.
Come on, guys, raise your game this morning. Come on, you do it.
Come on, get it together, Robert. Exactly. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
I am sorry. Yes, the Scottish Sun football correspondent, of course, Robert. You must be so delighted. I don't know what your affinity is, and you probably don't ever tell anyone, because that's a dangerous game in Scotland. But to have a three-way title race is so brilliant for this league.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the team I used to follow as a kid are way down kind of bottom end of the Premiership this season, unfortunately, but albeit they've won a trophy this season, so there's a little hint to it. But you're right, Max. There's a title race. It's going to go right down to the wire. We've got three teams right in the mix, and it's fantastic. Obviously, Rangers and Celtic, we know down the years, are usually the teams that are fighting for the title, albeit Celtic have had it pretty easy at times in recent years. But Hearts are there in merit. They're doing brilliantly. And I think it's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, and actually, that weekend last week was sort of perfect for this, wasn't it? That Celtic game where, who scored the winner? Araujo. I think he's probably still in the crowd after jumping into it, isn't he? And then for Rangers to beat Hearts was kind of the perfect result.
Yeah, he was lucky to get back out of the crowd, I think, Max. He was in there for about 5 minutes. It was a great weekend. It was a Super Sunday. It was on the TV, both games, and it had all the drama that everyone kind of hoped it would have. Rangers were behind twice in their game against Hearts at Ibrox, managed to win, and as you say, Celtic two down in the first half, managed to fight their way back and get a late 3-2 win. Fantastic for them. They're only 3 points off the top of the table. They've got a game in hand against Aberdeen next month, not this week coming, but the week after. So there's three teams, Max. It's nip and tuck. There's going to be so many twists and turns between now and the end of the season that it's almost impossible to call it, because as I say, it's so tight. And I think honestly, whether it's Celtic, whether it's Rangers, whether it's Hearts, what a story. There's been so many twists and turns at all three, or certainly Rangers and Celtic this season, and Hearts if they can hold out, they've been at the top of the table for so long, if they can hold out, what a story that's going to be.
Is this a sustainable push for Hearts? Will this be the next few years, or is this them just taking advantage of Celtic and Rangers having a bit of a blip?
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt whatsoever, Charlie, that they're taking advantage of where Celtic and Rangers are right now. There's no getting away from that fact. But there's been real investment at Hearts. Tony Bloom's gone in there and kind of mixed things up there and brought his investment, his analytics team, Jamestown Analytics, and that's been a real boost to Hearts. Obviously, the change of manager with Derek McInnes. But listen, there's a school of thought that this is Hearts' best chance to win the league, and clearly they're at the top of the table, and we're nearly in March. It's a huge opportunity for a team and a club that hasn't been there down the years. But no, for me, Hearts aren't going away anytime soon. There's going to be more investment. There's a real structure at the club now. They know exactly what they're doing. One of the big criticisms of Celtic and even Rangers up until recently has been the recruitment and the kind of policy and the kind of structure behind the scenes. Hearts have got that bang on. They know what they're doing. They know what they're going to do in January, and they know what they're going to be doing in the summer. So yeah, they're not going away anytime soon, Charlie. Absolutely not.
Does if Celtic win the league, does Wilfred Nancy get a medal?
Yeah, they'll probably bring him back. No, my Celtic are like give him another stint at it. Yeah, listen, that was a real blip. He was in and out of Celtic before he seemed to know it. I suspect there was boxes unpacked in his hallway before he was given a return ticket back to the States. I actually felt sorry for Wilfred Nancy.
Yeah, I got it.
On a human level, you know, he was a good guy, and he was just he kind of was fighting a losing battle from day one. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if they win the title, Max, that they'll give him a medal.
No.
I wouldn't hold his breath if I was him.
I doubt he'd want it.
And then next week is the Old Firm, right? God, how massive is that?
Yeah, so much at stake. I mean, there's going to be a couple of Old Firm games in the next few weeks. There's a Scottish Cup match also at Ibrox. Going to be more Celtic fans at that game than there usually is, or there has been in recent years, which I think is a good move. Yeah, there's going to be, as I say, keep using the expression, there's going to be so many twists and turns, Max, but that's the way it's going to be. There's so many big games coming up. As I say, Celtic will get, I think, 4 of their next 5 games away from home. I'm going to Germany with them next week for a second leg in the Europa League tie against Stuttgart, which is it's done. The game's over virtually. So interesting to see what Martin O'Neill does for that game in terms of the squad he takes and the kind of team he picks. But you're right, there's an Old Firm game next Sunday, so I think that will be at the forefront of his mind after Celtic play Hibs tomorrow afternoon.
All right, good stuff, Robert. Thanks so much for coming on.
Take care, guys.
Robert Grieve there, Scottish Sun football correspondent. So, yeah, Hearts play Falkirk today. They're in 6th. Tomorrow, Celtic play Hibs and Livingston play Rangers.
Who wins it, Max? Come on, call it.
No, I'm just going to wait until the end.
Are you just going to wait and see?
I think like everybody who has a sort of passing interest, generally you just go, okay, well, Celtic will probably win it. Growing up, it was always Rangers and then it's always Celtic.
Yeah.
You look at the table after I've stared at Cambridge in the automatic promotion places in League 2 for ages.
Well.
Just for someone that isn't Celtic or Rangers to win it, I think for most neutrals would be amazing. But if I'm going to really be honest, I don't know.
Wow.
Julian says, that's why I get these strong opinions. Well, someone can come here and sit here and go, it's definitely Celtic, and then just, people just hope it disappears in either. I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll see, as we always say.
Yeah, we'll see. Julian says that music is the show jumping theme, nothing to do with horse racing. What are you even doing on Talk Equestrianism? That is the sister station that we are launching, hosted by Nigel Whittaker and Charlotte Dujardin.
Rupert Bell.
And Rupert Bell, of course. Breakfast with Bell. A belly breakfast. Talk Equestrianism. Launching on Monday at 6 a.m. on the talkSPORT app. Just download the app and that'll be out as a podcast as well, wherever you get your podcasts. Talk Equestrianism. It is. Sometimes you're saying things out loud. What am I doing?
You really ran with that. And I was there.
Thanks so much.
It went on a little bit longer than I thought it would.
You didn't join in.
Well, because it was still going.
It was a bit. Listen, it was just a bit. You did a bit. It's done now.
I had a look at what was coming next. I came back to you and you were still saying it.
Yeah. What is coming next? Oh, Lee Phelps. Oh, great. It is Max and Charlie with you until 1. This show is brought to you with the good people of Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
there were reports that the night that Sean Dyche was sacked after that Wolves game, 4 or 5 senior players were called into Marinakis' boardroom, and they essentially said, "We're not loving this." And I don't like that. That feels unfair to someone like Sean Dyche. However, last night I think was great evidence because the players played with the reins off. They played with freedom, and I think it shows that how maybe unhappy some of those players were under Sean Dyche. The fact that they went to Istanbul to a team unbeaten domestically under Dominic Tedesco and absolutely played them off the park.
Yeah, on paper, Max, you look at your team. I mean,
I know,
Hudson-Odoi on the wide, on his
Gibbs
day,
White.
he can do it. Hutchinson, you've got Gibbs White, as you mentioned there. You've got Elliot Anderson in midfield as well. So you've got some top players.
I think he's the key, Elliot Anderson, because he's the dynamo, he's the driving force. And if he can win and keep them playing and get the balls to the danger men, then Forest have every chance.
Without a doubt. Look, and we all know that Elliot Anderson's destined for the top 4 team. He's got the talent to be absolutely world class. The way that he moves, there are shades of Zidane about him. And I know that people will laugh at that, but he is something special. And I think if England are going to do something special this summer, he's going to be a massive part of that for Thomas Tuchel. But people have been saying this about Forest all season, boys. They've been saying, well, they'll be absolutely fine. Look at the players, and they'll list the exact same players you just have, understandably. But ultimately, the chaos off the pitch is what's caused this.
Economics been in touch. Oh, hi, everybody. Max and Charlie here. Enjoying Max doing a work in progress during the actual show.
Yeah.
There's a thing about talk of questioning-ism. That's what I do when I go to the Hen and Chickens. Do my my open mic 10 minutes. Who's this from? Will there be, this is from Kev, a sports bar equivalent of talk of questionism, where slightly drunk or sleep-deprived show-jumping fans call in to have slightly inarticulate arguments with Nick Skelton?
Good.
This is good fun, isn't it? What are we doing now? Oh, yeah, let's look at the latest odds ahead of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
I need somebody. Phelps. Not just anybody. Phelps. You know I need someone. Phelps.
Lee Phelps is normally in the studio, Max. You're here.
I'm here.
He's not come in.
Yeah, well, we can't look at each other in the eye. After what happened with my wife. Welcome, Lee. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be there tomorrow. If you're not going back to us tonight, I'll be there.
No, just in for the day. Just in for the day. It's all right. It's such an easy flight. Totally fine. Rupert Bell's been in touch. Can't wait to break audience records in my new programme, Talk Equestrian. Of course I can. Breakfast with Bell. Anyway, Lee, what are we doing? Someone sent me a list. Presumably we're starting with Final One Standing. Is it a big day today? Someone's going to win £40 billion if Leeds avoid defeat or something like that?
We've got 120k pot, not quite as big as that. That's up for grabs today. 3 players left in that. We've given away almost 1.5 million in prize money now this season. We had a £100,000 pot, went to 1 player after the last round of Premier League games. The new 20k pot goes live today at 3 p.m. If you haven't played yet or you're not involved in the game, free to play as usual. Pick a Premier League team to win. If they do, you go through. If they don't, you don't. Half of the picks across the games that are in action are on Chelsea at home to Wolves. That's one of the 3 p.m. kickoffs, by the way. And just on the William Hill Scottish Premiership, like I think I've said before on here, you were talking about that amazing title race. One of the fascinating things is that Celtic, who are third, obviously with a game in hand, can go level on points if they win that. They're even money favourites. Rangers 15-8 and Hearts, the third favourites, even though they're top and could go further top today if they win, they're 7-2. So even though Hearts have been at the top of that table for so long, they've barely ever been favourites to win the league. So we can't wait for the run-in. Like Robert said, it's a brilliant outcome. Whichever way, there's a brilliant story, whoever wins it. But to be title sponsors on a year like this is just like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant. Every week it's like we're kind of watching what happens and the twists and turns.
In the Championships today. I mean, do you want to do the Premier Leagues first or should we do the early kickoff first?
Yeah, just a quick mention on that early kickoff on talkSPORT 2, the Coventry game at West Brom. There's an epic boost on Coventry to score the first goal at even money. Obviously, went back to the top of the table with that big win over Middlesbrough. 66 goals scored in the Championship this season. Tons of chances. 31 of those goals in the first half of the Championship. So a Coventry goal first in the match wins the epic boost on that one. Even money. But yeah, then there's 3 p.m. kickoffs. There's some good games today. I mean, I know we're all looking forward to the North London derby tomorrow, but
I'm not. I don't think any Spurs or Arsenal fans are.
Yeah, all the neutrals. So this is more and more neutrals. But today you've got your ACCA bet and get. So if you place an accumulator on your football with 4 or more picks, which also activates your ACCA boost, you get a free one to use. Chelsea 2-9 to beat Wolves. I think everyone, as I said, everyone's got them on Final One Standing. They'll be going a lot of ACCAs today. Also fancy Cole Palmer to get a goal or 2 there. They'll be wanting to put things right after the miss against Leeds. I think Villa beat Leeds at home. They're 17-20. I think that's a fair price. I know Leeds got that great point at Chelsea, but for Cole Palmer missing that City, they would have lost that game. Brentford to beat Brighton at home, like that one. Even money. I think Brentford should be shorter than that. I think they're a very good team, and I think Brighton are in a bit of a spot of bother. Also like Brighton to have over 3 cards, by the way. Most yellow cards away from home in the Premier League, Brighton this season. And Man City to beat Newcastle. 2-1 on they are. But I think they get the job done. Newcastle with the away trip in midweek, even though they scored loads of goals. There's an epic boost on that one as well. Both teams to score in the match, even money from odds on. Obviously, stake limits apply on those epic boosts. But the ACCA, the 4 teams, Chelsea all at home, Chelsea, Villa, Brentford, Man City is 6-1 with your ACCA boost. So yeah, some cracking football, some great sport as well. I've got some curling odds for you.
Okay, go on, yeah.
Yeah. Great Britain 4-5 favourites to get that curling gold.
Is that a bit of home bias?
Canada 11-10. It was a pick-up. It was even. It was absolutely bob on the same prices, but they've just gone favourites. Bit of money. I mean, obviously we don't. It's not nowhere near as big as kind of the likes of football or the Six Nations that we've got today, or the boxing. But there's been so much interest in the Winter Olympics that there's been a bit of money for Team GB. 4-5 to get the curling gold. We've got horse racing today as well. Grand National Weights lunch on Tuesday. I know you two are getting excited about Cheltenham. Just over 2 weeks away. We've got a cracking race at Newcastle, Kempton and Fairy House today. Epic boost on Precious Man to win the...
where's Fairy House?
Over in Ireland.
Okay, I've not heard of Fairy House.
So Precious Man is the epic boost to win the 145 at Kempton. 5-4 boosted from 4-5. Six Nations, England and Scotland are both big odds on to beat Ireland and Wales, but price boosts on the games. And then boxing, Lee Wood fights Josh Warrington tonight. It's Nottingham Forest versus Leeds United, so that'll be tasty in Nottingham. Wood's the favourite to win again. Gareth A. Davis, boxing expert on talkSPORT, has gone for Lee Wood to win again by stoppage in rounds 9-12. That's at 11-2. And there's a big fight in Vegas too with Ryan Garcia taking on Mario Barrios. So there's plenty going on. Great day of sport.
Good stuff. Lovely stuff, Lee. Have a wonderful day.
Great. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Lee Phelps there. That was the latest odds brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. 18+. Gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Simon saying, why are we talking about Chelsea Wolves? Wolves play Palace tomorrow. He meant Burnley, but teams are interchangeable these days, aren't they? A couple of things. Penguin Land says, did I hear equestrian footballers? David Sadler, Robert Hoof.
Why not?
Jimmy Neighbour. We'll take those. 1089. But most importantly, we are playing backwards footballers. We did it the other day, and actually, people might scoff. We weren't sure about it, but actually, it's a good game.
I'm not sure it's a 20-seat league.
It's not one we'll do for 5 years. That's not an autobiography, Wolves. It's a sort of, but it is a, it's a good use of time. Yeah. Because sometimes not everything we do is a good use of time.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes, but you have to try things.
But I've just been watching the bobsleigh, Max.
Okay, good for you.
It's the 4-man bob. And one of the guys, his job is literally run, jump in, and then just sit there.
Stay still.
That's all he does. Stay still.
Yeah.
And that's some of the features we do.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the 4th of the 4-man bob features. If you would like to play, 03717 223344, you could be famous for 10 minutes. 03717 223344, your chance to play backwards footballers with me and Charlie in just 1 second.
I'll tell you why I'm not worried. Because if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, major, then it has to go. All right?
No, I disagree with that.
No, well, you would, wouldn't you? But we don't sack managers every other week.
But you can't sack a manager who gets to the latter stages of every competition. You can't. You can't.
You can when the pattern emerges.
You can sack them.
The pattern emerges. Chelsea did it.
It depends what they do.
They won things.
So, John,
okay, here's a question. Would you sack Arteta if they finish second in
well, what happens in the Champions League?
They lose in the final.
What happens in the Carabao Cup?
Lose in the final.
FA Cup?
Lose in the final.
No, mate, he's got to go. You can't.
You're gonna sack him.
You can't get to three
finals.
You can't get to 3 finals and finish second. You can't. That to me tells that is all the evidence. No, you well done. It's a little bit like what Claudio Ranieri done at Chelsea. Chelsea he finished second that season. We beat Arsenal in the semi-final, quarter-final of the Champions League. Got beat by Monaco. Jose comes in. We've gone from second to the quarter-finals to almost winning. We won the title, won the Carabao Cup. Arteta might just be that man. He might be the nearly man. He might be the man, but he might be the nearly man. If he's the nearly man,
well, you'd sack him. You've got to be careful what you wish for, Joe.
I'm not saying
built this team for him.
I'm not saying
built this team. And if they don't win it this season, or they finish second and they miss the cup finals, whatever. Well, I don't think you can sack Arteta. I don't. Mate.
I think you can.
From where they've come from.
No, but that's the point I'm making. He has taken them to this point. Now their time is now. Their time is now. And if it's not now, I don't know when it ever is going to be. Because City will be stronger next season.
Concept Porto under 10s won 6-2, Matt.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Well done, lads. Thank you, Marzi.
Will says Frank Gallup. Sadio Mane. This is equestrian football. I don't know how we got to this. Listen.
It's Talk Equestrian launching Monday on talkSPORT 2.
We have a huge game of backwards footballers, and we're honest with the audience.
We're very honest. Only one person's called in, guys.
So we're playing
03717 223344 03717 223344.
You think of everything we have done for you. And we're trying to pilot a new game show. It could be a success, it might not be. It's had one outing, it needs a few more. Without you, we can't play it. And then me and Charlie might just walk away. We might just
that might be it.
We might go full Glasner. We might just say, well,
Max has flown over to hand in his P45.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have done it by email.
Yeah.
He wanted to see their eyes.
I think they hand me my people.
Oh, that's how maybe that's what's happening.
I like how you dressed it up in such a positive way.
I'm handing you your P45. We meant to hand it to you.
There you go. Look at the phone lines going wild. Thank you.
Going wild.
As soon as that's what we. Do you know what this show is? We guilt trip the audience.
Yes.
That's what we're here to do. Before we play Backward Footballers, let's get team news from West Brom, Coventry. It's live on talkSPORT 2 at 12:30. Joe Shannon has the team. Say, Joe.
Good morning, guys. Looking forward to this big game at both ends of the table. There are 8 changes for West Brom after their FA Cup defeat to Norwich. Bierlich, Taylor and Gilchrist are the only survivors from last weekend as the home side seek a much-needed first win under Eric Ramsey, who's already feeling the pressure just 7 games into the job. The West Brom team is O'Leary in goal, and then Gilchrist, Bierlich, Taylor and Styles at the back. Mowat and Malumbi in front of them. Wallace, Price and Jimo Aloba behind Hegerberg up front. Unsurprisingly, Frank Lampard's league leaders are unchanged after the excellent win over Middlesbrough on Monday night. Coventry can go 4 points clear with a win today. They have Rushworth in goal, Van Eyck, Thomas, Latabaudiere and De Silva. On Yeka and Grimes, Sakamoto, Rodoni and Mason Clark behind Hadji Wright. Up front, build up from 12, kick-off at 12:30. It's West Brom against Coventry, and it's over on talkSPORT 2.
Thank you, Big Joe Shannon.
Big Joe Shannon.
Big Joe Shannon. Benty says, hi, boys. Harpenden Colts 6, Harlow Techers 1.
Wow.
Now, if you're going to call yourself Techers at kids level, then that's what's going to happen. Well done to the
get it launched.
Well done to the Colts. Anyway, let's play.
Get it launched under 9s.
Let's play Backwards Footballers. We did have music for it last time. We haven't got that. They can't find it. So there we go.
Can't
Look,
find
we are There's a phrase I
Shambles.
use for this, but I get told off whenever I use it. So I'm not going to say it, but we're doing this raw, is what we're doing.
You're not allowed to say the other...
No, I don't know why. I got yelled at. And I was like, it seems totally fine, but apparently there's some other meaning of it. I don't know. I thought it was just staring at the map on an aeroplane. Here we go. Daniel is a Villa fan, Ben is a Newcastle fan, and they are going to play backwards footballers. Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for helping us out. You got us out of a hole here, Daniel, because it was getting embarrassing. So are you good at getting backwards footballers, or have you not really practiced it much?
I'm mixed bag.
Mixed bag. Okay, the mixed bag.
Yeah.
That's his nickname, Daniel. The mixed bag. And you'll be taking on Ben, a Newcastle fan. Hey, Ben.
Hello.
How's
Ben.
life, Ben?
Not bad.
Okay, I'm pleased to hear
I
it.
tell you what, they're full of life, these lads, aren't they?
Yeah, they're up for it. Are you
sparky this morning?
Ben, are you good at guessing?
Stop talking, guys. Let us get a word in.
Ben, are you good at? Don't listen to Charlie. Ben, are you good at guessing backwards footballers?
I haven't even seen it.
He's got a good feeling. That's good.
But you were definitely lost.
Yes, what was that?
He's already lost. I said
Oh, look at this trash talk.
Talking over each other.
talk.
He's already lost, and someone said, I think he said you were desperate, so he called up. I think they said that, but yeah, I've just looked up the meaning of the other.
Oh right, is it?
Yeah, no good, Max.
Okay, here we go then. Here we go, Daniel. You can start. Oh no, is it just shout if you think you know? Is that how it goes, or is it one? How do we work it out, Charlie? You shout it if you know the answer. Here we go. Shout it if you know the answer.
Shout mixed bag.
Yeah, that's it.
Or
what's Ben's nickname? Ben, what's
the
your
tune?
What? No, okay, he's better than that. Ben,
Okay, Ben.
What's your nickname,
What's
Ben?
your nickname, Ben?
What's your surname, Ben?
Taylor.
Taylor. Tails. Tails. Yeah. You have to shout tails.
Mixed bag or tails?
And Daniel, you have to shout mixed bag.
Shout it out.
And then we go, okay, let's start.
No music makes it sound.
That's okay, don't worry about it. Just do it with conviction. Okay. Who is this? Not Larak. Yabob.
That's good.
Not Larak. Yabob.
Tails.
Tails.
Oscar Bob.
Oh, it's a good guess, but it's not right. You're back
that.
in the game.
Mixed bag,
you're
you're
back
in.
in the game. No, they're both back in the game. Here we go.
Okay.
Not Larak. Yabob.
Silence.
It's good stuff.
Try and work. Oh,
They're worried about it, so they put this in.
worried about it.
We don't need this.
Might go off air.
Yeah. Just play the
silence.
emergency Danny Kelly interviewing Harry Redknapp, My Sporting Life.
Final chance.
No,
Any ideas?
final shot. No, if they only get one guess.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
One guess all the way
Not Larak. Yabob.
Not
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
Oh, is it Clarence Seedorf?
It's not Clarence Seedorf.
No,
It's not
like,
Clarence
come on,
Seedorf.
think about Yabob backwards. Yabob. Yabob.
Oh, mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
It's Brian Bobby.
It's not Brian Bobby, but you're getting closer.
So close. So close.
Where's the Brian in that? Not Larach. Yabob. Not
Tails.
Tails.
Bobby Charlton.
Yes! Scotty's absolutely on the B of the bang. He's 1-0 up.
Very, very
1-0 up to
good.
Tails.
Very
He's
good.
Tails 1, mixed bag nil.
Backwards footballers.
Okay, do you want to
Here comes the next one.
Okay.
Setarkos. What is it? It's mixed bag v Tails. Tails?
Socrates.
Look at this.
He's in.
He's got a hang of it now.
He's got the philosophy down.
Is that 2-0? 2-0 down. That's 2-0 to Tails. Here we go. This is a tricky one. Okay. The music stopped, by the way. Did you notice that? Ekatike Ogu. Mixed bag.
Hugo Ekatike.
Correct it is. That's a really
nice.
that is possibly the easiest one in
The
the book.
Hugo Ekatike game.
It is. Okay, 2-1. 2-1. It's what are we playing to? First to 3 or what is it? Well, we keep going till we're still having fun. Okay. Next one, Charlie.
Dragsmad Lekim. Dragsmad Lekim.
One of the Rocky films.
Dragsmad Lekim.
Tails.
Mikel Damsgaard.
Yeah, oh, good.
Very
yeah,
good.
3-1 to Tails. Joe says, Bobby Charlton. It's Bobby bleeping Charlton. Screaming at the radio, Bobby Charlton. Total waste of 6 minutes. The spark has gone off to IKEA. Here we go. Okay, so is that 3-1? So first to 4. That makes it good, doesn't it? Or first to 5. We're going to do first to 5. First to 5. Okay, I'm going to go with I'll go with the next one on the list then. Oh, no. Dralab Nad. Dralab Nad. Tails.
Dan Ballard.
Oh, Tails absolutely smashing it. 4-1 here.
4-1.
Absolutely. One more and you win it, Tails, and we hope you win it because Mixed Bag would have to get 5 in a row, and that would be too long for this game. Here we go. This one for the win.
Tlenaj Yelativ. This is a hard one. Tlenaj Yelativ. Tails?
Dominic Solanke.
No. Should get one taken off. Anyway, Tlenaj Yelativ.
I wanted the game to finish quickly. You've gone with that one.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
I wouldn't even know that forwards.
Nor would I forwards. Tlenaj. Mixed bag.
Is it Vitaly Janelle?
Oh, my God. Yes, and that one's worth 4. And you're the winner. Mixed Bag is the winner. Thank you, Mixed Bag. Thank you, Tails. Thanks
Very
for playing.
good. Great job.
It's good to get some direct... Thank you, guys. It's good to get some direct feedback.
Yeah.
You've got to try things, guys.
Have to
Otherwise,
try it
we
out.
just do another 10 minutes of who's the bigger club, Liverpool or Manchester United. That's not what people want. This text just says, oh, dear, Matt, who loves the show. He loves the show.
Yeah.
He really is on it all the time. This is truly terrible.
Well, do you know what the problem was? No music. Music would have lifted it.
Jack says, Max laughing at the Clarence Seedorf shout needs to be better from the host. What was that? Was that insulting? Okay. So we tried a thing. Maybe
I like it.
Yeah, and listen, maybe we'll never, ever, ever do it again.
Never know.
Or maybe the breakfast show will steal it, because that's what happens. That's what happens with our ideas. Worst game ever. Keep up the great work, says this text. 8:10:89, please. Your reaction to our second ever Backwards Footballers. Should it be our last? Because we are here, if nothing else, to serve you, the good listeners. Now you can see why nobody calls into play. Shambles of a game, says Mark. Backwards Footballers, total waste of 5 minutes, stupid kids game. Yeah, and then what happened, says Paul. Okay, so, we get the idea, but,
I'll quote my own work back at me.
It's Max and Charlie here until 1.
Just unbelievable how things have changed so dramatically just from like a 190-minute game where Arsenal really...
but it's not one 90-minute game, though.
No, it's not.
It's been a few weeks now.
No, you're right. But if Arsenal win that 2-0 compared to drawing it 2-2, the narrative is so different. The point, it's so... We're talking about now, you said it last night, Championship rounds, we are there. We're approaching that time now.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the funny thing, right, is that it's... Man City, right? They're not putting Arsenal under pressure. This is not like Man City and Liverpool going toe to toe, where City win, Liverpool win, City win, Liverpool draw, City win, Liverpool win, City. And do you remember that under Klopp and Pep, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when Chelsea were going toe to toe with Man United. There'll be that they win, and you have to go. And there's like the points difference was minute, and every result mattered. The only reason that Man City are back in this title race ain't because of Man City. It's because of Arsenal. That's the reason they're back in it. Not that Man City are like putting pressure on them. The only pressure that's coming is from.
So you think it's more about them stumbling than actually?
Yes, 100%. This is not.
But I think down your neck. I know, but I think Man City are. They've been. Look, they're rebuilding, right? They've built a new team.
Yeah.
Arsenal's team was ready to win it, so. Yeah. But I feel like Man City now. This is when Man City come alive. Right, this is when they come alive.
This will be the worst Man City side to win the Premier League.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good afternoon, you are listening to Warm Up on talkSPORT. Max and Charlie with you until 1. Jim says the radio silence game is your most radical idea yet. And probably your best one.
Yeah. Silence involved in it. I quite liked it.
Yeah. I like the
mixing the meditation into that.
Yeah, no, I do like it when there's total silence. Septimus McClonk says the glass floor of radio quizzes well and truly smashed with backwards footballers. Keep up the good work. You're not happy with it?
Being cruel about it. I think it's a good game. We just we need to finesse it. But we can only do that on air. You don't know until the red light goes on. You know, we can all do it. Everyone can do it on a on a training pitch, Max.
Exactly.
We can all look good.
We can all come up with
in the
brilliant
office.
radio features
In the office.
until we come out on the coalface. What we are is...
Here we are.
Yeah.
Bearing ourselves.
Mark
our
says,
souls.
backwards footballers. How about backwards presenters? My mistake, you already asked. Smiley face. A lot of people saying, what a load of park. So we appreciate those. Anyway, Man City v Newcastle, exclusively live on talkSPORT tonight at 8 o'clock kickoff. Let's hear what Pep thinks about the title race.
Could not care less. It's 12 games. If you tell me this question, 2 games left, 3 games left, I will have your answer. It's the 4th time you ask me the same question, I will answer you. You should know me. So it's 12 games left. It's an eternity. So many things is going to happen. That is the only truth I have.
Chinny Recon. Pep Guardiola doesn't care about the title race. Let's talk to Simon Bajkowski from the Managerial News. Hey, Simon.
Are you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. Look, it's really well poised now, isn't it? Like Arsenal dropping points for the neutrals, for City fans as well. It's fascinating. You imagine they will go this evening and win.
You'd think so. I mean, Newcastle have got an awful record at the Etihad, so you would bank on City to win. Maybe not as much as in previous years, but it is a lot more exciting than it could have been. I think when City were 1-0 down at Anfield with 10 minutes to go, everyone kind of thought, all right, it's all over. And then since then, everything has kind of gone City's way, and Arsenal have dropped in 2 games. And it's very much on. And they've got a Carabao Cup final next month. They might play each other in the Champions League. So I think it's going to be, full on between City and Arsenal for the next few months, really.
Considering where they've been and how far they've been behind, would this be up there with one of Pep's greatest titles if they win it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, a lot of people would say he hasn't really rebuilt a team during his time here. He might disagree, but this is a pretty new team. It's been a lot that he's banging on about in the last few weeks and months, that he doesn't really know how this team will perform. Everyone's saying, oh, City always come on strong in the last few months of the season. He's like, well, this lot don't, because they've never been in a title race. And that is a bit nervy for them, but it's also exciting. And, Arsenal have been phenomenal, haven't they, to get to this point and to be in the lead and where they are. But City is still in there, and if they can reel them in again with a new team, I think it would definitely be one of Pep's biggest achievements at City.
Whenever we talk Man City, we will get a number of text messages saying, I see you haven't mentioned the charges again. So I'm mentioning it so we don't get those messages in the full knowledge that you're not going to say, oh, I actually know what's happening with the charges, because if you did, you'd have probably written something about it.
Yes, no exclusive today, sadly. But I saw mention the other day or week that it's getting a bit awkward again, because if it were to drop right in the middle of this title race, then it would be awkward for all involved, and there would be huge ramifications right in the middle of the football. But at the same time, it's been going on for so long, and we just want an end to it, and we want a decision and everything to be sorted, and then they can get onto VAR.
Maybe they're waiting until Manchester City's birthday before they.
Oh, I see. So
do the charges.
Possibly. I mean, I suppose there is the randomness to it, that if there is a punishment, then if it's now, Arsenal fans are like, well, why couldn't it have been a season when Liverpool, I mean, I know Arsenal finished second in the last few years. I don't know. It's just always worth keeping in the back of my mind that it's there. I think it's so interesting. I think Pep is. I mean, you must have talked to Pep so many times and heard him say so many things. Where you're like, come on, Pep, you don't really mean that, do you?
Yeah, every week. It's a very difficult task when you your job is to report what he said, and you're like, yeah, but he doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean it. He's like, he said it, but he doesn't really mean it. But such is life with Pep Guardiola. And the thing is, he says, oh, I've not mentioned a word of the title race to my players. It's all Newcastle. And it's like, yeah, but you don't need to, because you've all watched them at Wolves. You watched them at Brentford, and you've watched them at Wolves. You know exactly what's going on, and you know exactly what you need to do. And for City, they've got, I think, 4 or 5 league games before they play Arsenal at the Etihad. So their job has to be to kind of still be in touching distance when Arsenal come up to Manchester, and then it really is on.
Semenyo's been impressive, hasn't he? Have they got what they paid for? Do you think a bit more? I think he's been better than they thought.
I think maybe a bit much to say saved the season, but I don't think you can underestimate the impacts he has had. And Mark Guay has been phenomenal since he came in. He was outstanding at Anfield. City were really, really struggling. The wheels were slightly coming off, and then Semenyo kind of rescued them in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and Guay's done really well in the Premier League as well. We've all watched them for years, haven't we? So we know how good they are. But they have settled straight away, and they're challenging for the first team straight away. And I think City's number 2, Pep Linders, was saying, like, it's really, really hard when you're at a club like City or Liverpool or Arsenal to say, we're going to sign this player and he can come straight into our first 11. But that's what both of them have done, really.
It's so great for England that Mark Gay's playing so well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just sort of think if you buy these oven-ready Premier League players and you pay a bit more money, it is a sign to other clubs that are aspiring to get to that, an extra 10, 20 million is the difference between someone who's quite good. Yeah. Like even 40 million. Gay you got for a snip as well, City did, didn't they? A lot of people, Simon, saying that the Carabao Cup final will have a huge implication on the title race because, psychologically it makes a massive difference. Do you agree with that?
I think it will. I'm a big believer in kind of momentum and mentality at this stage of the season. And, you watched Arsenal at Wolves and it, a 2-2 draw where you've been 2-0 up is so much worse than when you've been 2-0 down, say, and then just the reactions at full time, you think that is going to be really, really difficult to come back from, but they have to. And Carabao Cup, if Arsenal can get over the line and win a trophy under Arteta for the first time in however many years, and it's against City, they will take such a boost from that, and City will need to recover from that. But if City can beat them again, it's going to put that little bit more doubt in Arsenal minds ahead of the league meeting and the league games for the rest of the season. So Carabao Cup, Champions League, it will all play some part between now and the end of the season.
What's the Pep Guardiola mind games playbook from here on in, Simon?
I think keep saying that he doesn't care about the title race, keep saying they're not 3 points behind, they're not however many points behind, and just sit on Arsenal's shoulder and kind of hope that they can jump past them at the right time.
Like Steve Cram, isn't it? Steve Cram. And actually, lots of people started talking about the quadruple with Arsenal, but City could do it as well. It's so hard and so unlikely, but they're sort of quietly still in all the competitions.
Yeah, and that's it. I don't think anyone expected them to be here this season, including City, especially after last season when they were so off it in just about every competition. But and they had a bad start to this season, but they've kind of settled, and they're just still there, sort of like, creeping like that person on the wedding photos that you don't know who they are. They're just kind of there in the corner and wondering whether they might, jump on the dance floor in the next few months.
Well, always good to chat. Enjoy the game tonight, Simon. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Simon Barkowski there, who is the Manchester City correspondent for the Manchester Evening News. Yes, Charlie?
Arteta said that bottler and bottling isn't in his vocabulary, but he said it.
He did say it.
So it is in his vocabulary.
I don't think he's going to say
By saying it out loud, it becomes in your vocabulary.
It's annoying for him, isn't it? Like, obviously, not winning those games is really annoying, but being asked about it, he's got to think of an answer, and he can't say, I tend to walk into training most days and say, we've bottled it, lads. We're not going to say that.
Have you seen the league?
What have we done there? We shouldn't have done that. And I also, people say cut out the noise. There's no way the Arsenal squad are listening to phone-ins on talkSPORT.
I don't think
so. Are they going, maybe we have? I just heard Dan in Chelmsford ringing.
I still think Arsenal win it. I think Arsenal have an easier run in than Man City. I think they've got a brilliant team. I think they will come good, and I think they will win the league.
One thing's for certain, there'll be twists and turns galore, and you can get... And you can catch them all on talkSPORT.
Yes,
that's what I should say. But
they
will be like, I would be amazed if Tottenham got anything from that game tomorrow. And maybe I'm just saying that to sort of preempt. There's part of me that thinks maybe they'll go and Igor Tudor will, smash it. But actually, with that many injuries and that momentum shift, if Arsenal win at Spurs, and like Newcastle are not,
no.
They had a long trip to Karabag. And Karabakh didn't have a defence. It was sort of quite extraordinary, that football match. But, if you win any game 6-1, the next game you do feel a bit confident. Now, Gordon hasn't had a brilliant game season in the Premier League, but he will go into this game going, I scored 4 last week. So, you never know. Newcastle could get something today.
We'll see, Max.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's worth saying. We'll see. It is Max and Charlie with you until 1. We'll do some EFL with the Guardian's Ben Fisher in just a second. We'll do some Newcastle as well, and there's always time for time difference.
Got to talk about Celtic. The title. I don't. You've been away, right? The title's blown open now. Celtic favourites, Rangers second favourite, Hearts third.
Yeah.
And I've been whinging, right? And maybe I shouldn't because I don't go regular now. But I've been whinging about Celtic's lack of creation in midfield. It really annoyed me. I'm looking at the midfield saying, "Come on, we're better than that." Anyway, they got absolutely gubbed last night. But what I didn't know was, right from the first whistle, the old tennis balls.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill said something about it.
All I'm saying is this, right? I'm not trying to cover up a shocking result. Celtic got pumped, absolutely pumped, 4-1. But I'm not talking about that because Stuttgart are probably a decent side, better than Celtic.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the players any good when you start that carry on.
Well, it gives the away team a lift as well.
As Martin said, Stuttgart players would know about the atmosphere at
Park.
Well,
Absolutely.
suddenly all these tennis balls come on, they're saying, "Oh, lovely."
We were talking about, I think Martin was talking about when Juventus, they were scared to go to Celtic Park. The atmosphere, the hostility, all that sort of stuff. It's not an easy place to go and play, probably, as a European side, but they make it probably easier.
I'm going to upset a few now. Celtic fans, did you throw a tennis ball after the first kick? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're very disappointed the way things are going now.
The bold and all that sort of
stuff. For God's sake, it doesn't do it before the game and after the game, not during the game, honestly.
Win a trip to Cheltenham, Alan Brazil style on talkSPORT.
Let's be clear, you don't have to do it Alan Brazil style if you don't want to. You can do it in any style you want. But if you fancy joining talkSPORT at the Cheltenham Festival for Gold Cup Day, we are giving away the ultimate hospitality.
Suddenly my ears have pricked up.
The two on Friday, March the 13th.
I'll wear blinkers, it's fine.
You'll get the full day of VIP treatment, a full-course lunch, complimentary bar all day, celebrity tipsters and more. You'll be experiencing the races in the best way possible, and you'll get to meet some of us.
Yes, for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50, plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close 27th of February 2026 at 4 p.m. And that's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSport promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now.
Nick Skelton could have carried on playing that music, couldn't he? Anyway, let's do some EFL with the Guardian's Ben Fisher. Hey, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, Max. Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, always nice to chat. Where should we start there? Look, early kickoff live on TalkSport 2 in 10 minutes, which is West Brom Cov. Like, massive win for Cov against Middlesbrough. Was it on Monday night, wasn't it? But this game is so big for West Brom as well.
Yeah, it's big for both teams. I mean, on Monday I was there and it was a cracking game. Great win for Coventry to get back on track after a bit of a wobble. You know, Frank Lampard was it pains to say, you can't get carried away, we can't over-celebrate. He sounded a little bit like sort of darts MC John McDonald in terms of the kind of game on, he said, was how he saw things in terms of the bigger picture. And, you know, a win today would really go some way to feeling like they really are back on track. And Monday wasn't just sort of a big turn up, a big performance, more of a one-off. So, yeah, big for them. And West Brom are in a real spot of bother. Eric Ramsey yet to win a game in 7 since taking charge. And obviously a tough task with Coventry coming to town today.
Leicester City away at Stoke. Gary Rowett's first game in charge. We had him in the studio on H&J a few weeks ago, and he seemed fresh and ready to go. And I think he's a good manager, especially for this type of job.
Yeah, I agree. I like it as an appointment. My sort of fear is that maybe Leicester just waited a bit too long to do it. It feels like they've dragged their heels a little bit after sacking Cifuentes. They lost all 3 games when Andy King and Inter in charge. Red cards in 2 of those. You know, the mood music clearly isn't good. And obviously this week we've heard about their appeal against their points deduction. But the Premier League significantly have also appealed that, and they're sort of pushing for Leicester to get an extra point, which, you know, given the margins at the bottom of the table, could be massive. But yeah, Gary Rowett has got a job on his hands.
Just on that, why are the Premier League... What does it matter to the Premier League? Why are they sort of in Leicester's corner here? I've not been following it as closely as perhaps I should have been.
Well, because 2 of the seasons, it's a 3-year period they're looking at in terms of PSR, and one of those seasons Leicester in the Championship, but 2 in the Premier League. And the Premier League sort of handed down the jurisdiction to the EFL to impose this penalty, which Leicester believe actually... without getting too sort of bogged down in the detail, Leicester believe could be is part of their appeal. Basically, that they believe the EFL maybe don't have that power,
right?
Because the rules were changed after the accounts period ended, if that makes sense. So, yeah, they're at loggerheads. It's fair to say, but the Premier League believe the punishment was too lenient. So it will be interesting to see what happens. And the EFL and Premier League are saying that will get heard before the end of the season, which feels pretty significant.
Right. Sorry. So the Premier League want it to be a bigger penalty. I'm being incredibly slow, Ben. Right. Okay, I understand. Right. Blimey. Where else should we go? I mean, Michael O'Neill coming into Blackburn Rovers and getting 2 wins in a row. He's almost done his job, hasn't he? He can just now go and focus on Northern Ireland again.
Yeah, 6 points clear of the relegation zone. You know, a few weeks ago, Blackburn was sort of the big club, big history team, kind of, you know, with the doom and gloom. And he certainly lifted that 95th minute winner last night. Ohashi scoring from a cross late on. Very poor press and defending, so much so Paul Peckingbottom, I mean, he could barely speak afterwards. He was seething. He's ordered the players in today. He did his media duties, but he said there's absolutely no way he was going into the dressing room. So I think we know how he felt about it all. But for O'Neill, you know, what a story. As you say, sort of juggling jobs. You know, people had their own opinions of that. But yeah, great scenes again. He lost his footing a bit as the celebrations went on. And he said, you know, it was a sort of combination of 2 hip replacements and the pure emotions of it all. So, yeah, great moment for him and for Blackburn.
Yeah, League One, you've got Cardiff v Plymouth. Cardiff currently top. Plymouth looks safe despite having a really, really bad start under Tom Cleverley. But he's really turned it around and the fans are really on board with him now, I think.
Yeah, remarkable, because at the end of November...
He lost 7 in a row or something, didn't he?
Something like that, yeah. They lost 3-0 at home to Northampton at the end of November. They were 23rd at that point, 2 points off the bottom of the table. And, you know, he kind of felt like he was on borrowed time in the rest of it. But yeah, he's got them back on track. This is actually going to be his 100th game as a manager. So he's got just the 900 to go to be on par with, you know, Guardiola and Martin O'Neill, who reached that milestone recently. But yeah, back in November, December, I don't think we thought Tom Cleverley would be reaching any kind of milestone, certainly not at Plymouth. But yeah, he has turned it round. And I mean, you know, he's got a good squad, but I think it was after they came down, just getting that together. Cardiff have made it look easy, their opponents today. And I think, you know, we can say with almost some certainty that Cardiff will be back in the Championship next year, but Plymouth have found it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I suppose the big story in League One, Cardiff have been brilliant under Brian Barry Murphy, isn't it? Lincoln City to still be there, like given their resources compared to some of the big teams in that division, and to be second and to be, 8 points clear of third is such an achievement.
Yeah, and I did a piece with them earlier in the season, and you just got the sense that I'm not comparing them to sort of Brentford or Brighton, but the way we hear those clubs talked about in terms of their sort of off-field structure, the sort of smartness with which they work, it feels like that at Lincoln. They're very clever and sort of diligent in the way they do about things. Scubala, the manager who came out of Leeds and spent a lot of time in sort of academy football, futsal as well. He's, you know, really made a strong impression as a head coach. And they've got a nice blend there. They've got experience. They've got people like Sonny Bradley who have sort of been there and done it. They've got some younger players as well. It's not a team of sort of where they've thrown loads of money at it, and that's why they sort of push towards the top of the league. It's really smart recruitment, really smart thinking. They're big on set pieces. And as you say, Max, it's amazing for them to be where they are. And the cushion is remarkable, really. They look like they probably will go up with Cardiff.
League Two, top of League Two, there are basically 5 teams going for 3 automatics. Bromley, Swindon, the mighty Cambridge United, MK Dons and Notts County. Bit of a leap down to Chesterfield. You know, okay, look, things can happen in League Two. Cambridge have lost 1 in 17, I think, Ben, and that was away to Harrogate, who were bottom. They're now away. Today they're away to Newport, who are bottom. Yeah, so please give me some hope that we're not going to balls this up today.
Well, I am quietly rooting for Christian Fuchs at Newport. Who, I mean, I think he's took on the toughest job in the Football League. They actually won last time out as well, so I don't want to fill you with any more dread, Max. But I think Cambridge are in a good spot, aren't they? I saw Pelly Ruddock in Panzu this week talking about, you know, he wants another promotion. He was obviously part of that.
He's been so good. There. He's been so, like, when you have a player who's played at the top level and they see how calm they are on the ball, it's so great to see in League Two. Yeah,
well, you got obviously him and people like Corey Smith. There's a lot of players who have got, you know, sort of top end Championship experience, and I think they'll win today, Max. I don't think you need to worry too much.
Thank you so much. And actually, the bottom of League Two, because quite often 2 teams are kind of adrift or one's adrift, but those wins for Harrogate and Newport last weekend mean that they're on 24, Newport, Harrogate 25, and then you've got Bristol Rovers, Crawley and Barrow all on 27. So I have 5 teams in the mix for going down to the
desperate to
conference.
play Torquay away next season.
No, you want it to be exciting for the neutrals. You want and that's really exciting to see for everyone apart from those 5 teams.
Yeah, I think the assumption certainly at Bristol Rovers was about Steve Evans gone in there. You know, they'll be safe, they'll be fine. But it's not worked out like that. This week he's criticised the recruitment sort of long before he was in the building, and yeah, he's not kind of just, I don't know, set a sort of chain of wins in motion. He's found it really difficult. And as you say, it's getting more and more congested. A team like Newport, who I suppose nobody's given a chance to, you know, are still in the fight. So it will be interesting.
He's dropped all that weight, hasn't he? He's dropped all that weight, Steve Evans. So it's like Samson with his hair. You know, he's dropped all the weight. He can't get the teams playing anymore. He's turned into a different guy.
Do you think that's it? The transformation is quite extraordinary. Credit to that guy.
Well done.
Sean wants to know, it means nothing for the people who aren't watching on YouTube, but if you are, he says, I hope EFL man, that's you, Ben, finds his stolen painting. Because it does look like someone's just nicked I don't know if you realise this.
Is it a mirror behind you?
Is that a mirror behind you, or is that a stolen Was that a painter
I can
Picasso?
confirm it's a cheap IKEA mirror, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, well, there we are.
Lots of my paintings on the walls around the corner, but that's for another day.
That is for another day. What a day! And what a day that'll be. We look forward to the gallery. We'll get the music. Ben
Fisher's gallery.
Thank you, Ben. Have a lovely day. Ben Fisher there.
Thanks a lot,
the
guys.
Guardian's EFL correspondent. It's Max and Charlie with you. Brought to you with Travis Perkins. Do what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. We'll do a bit of Newcastle, their trip to Man City live on talkSPORT at 8 o'clock tonight. And then there's always time for time difference, and we'll do that at the end.
Do you doubt that Jermaine can take Moses Atoma into the later rounds?
I think he's going to get knocked out. I do. I think there's no. And by the way, saying someone's going to get knocked out is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting Jermaine. I'm looking at the fight, looking at Moses Atoma, looking at what I've seen from Jermaine. And I think that ideally, I don't want to see an early fight. I want to see a good fight. I want to see Jermaine stick it on Moses Atoma. I want to see a good fight. And ultimately, we have an enjoyable evening watching two good fighters put something out. But I think Moses, I don't think he's been in with someone as quick and as fast and at this stage in his career. Going in with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White at their stages in their career is not the same going in with Moses. But on the other side of it, Moses isn't as experienced and as wise as those two fighters.
And that's
so there's a trade-off. But I think, personally, with due respect to the man sitting next to me, I think he's going to get knocked out by Moses.
But there's nothing to suggest that he will get knocked out because he's never been knocked down, never been knocked out.
And I'm happy to be wrong.
No, but what I'm saying
is
he's been, yeah, absolutely. But I say he had been in at the time with Anthony Joshua. Yeah, he was on a rebuild and a comeback, but that kid can whack, and he's still very, very dangerous. And Jermaine took some flush shots from him.
The big question about Anthony at that fight, and it's always been about Anthony, was he gun shy? And
he was letting the shots
go.
There
was an allegation at that fight. He was getting himself through that fight. Moses Atoma won't navigate this fight. We'll see.
See, that's the difference between skills and just watching it. I made him fight that way. It wasn't that he had to fight.
Fair enough.
I made it that way.
Fair enough.
It's different when you're in the ring.
Of course.
You know, so like everybody expects Moses to come out and fight this way or do this and do that. I won't let him.
No.
He's going to have to try. He's going to have to try and try again.
A couple of early goals in the Championship. Stoke 1 up on Leicester. So disappointing start for Gary Rowett at one of his former clubs. He's definitely managed Stoke, hasn't he, Gary Rowett? He must have.
I'd have thought so.
Coventry 1 up at West Brom. That is live on talkSPORT 2 from Mason Clark with has a ball over the top and he's taken on his chest and lobbed the keeper. Keeping a bit of no man's land, but it's still a brilliant finish. So a big goal at the top and the bottom of the Championship. You can hear commentary of that over on talkSPORT 2 right now. 8 o'clock tonight, commentary of Manchester City versus Newcastle in the Premier League. Let's talk to Jack Cunningham from Inside the Toon. If you want to get excited about the game, have a listen to this.
Arsenal have dropped 2 points in the title race and maybe hand some momentum to Manchester City.
I could not care less. It's 12 games.
3 goals for City, 3 points incoming for City, and they're closing the gap.
It's an eternity. So many things is going to happen.
Man City are not the Man City of old. They've got their own frailties. Let's see if they go capitalise on it.
Tonali with another drive. Oh, what a goal! Sandro Tonali!
Positives to come out the last few games, as you say, 3 away wins, which is something that's a great return.
What a win for Newcastle United. A 6-1 victory on the road. But Eddie Howe doesn't do history, he rewrites it. Can he scribe a new chapter tonight?
But they've been too good for us on a number of occasions, and that's the jumping gap we've got to try and bridge this weekend.
Just before we talk to Jack Cunningham about this game, let's hear how that Coventry goal sounded. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Joe Shannon, the commentators.
Dinked over the top towards Mason Clark, who brings it down. Chips O'Leary, and the ball is in the back of the net. What a start! The league leaders are in front again. Efren Mason Clark dinked it over the top of Max O'Leary. He got a glove to it, but he couldn't keep it out.
He's going to the top, Shannon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great.
He's good stuff.
Also, Chips O'Leary, what a player.
Yeah, Chips O'Leary.
Remember him from the 50s.
I thought Chips O'Leary, didn't he win the TPC at Sawgrass? Yeah.
He did.
And on the 15th hole, Chips O'Leary with a 17-foot putt for par. Anyway, Jack Cunningham. I've introduced him about 10 times.
Yeah, here he comes. Keep stepping on stage and then walking off. Stepping onto the microphone.
No, not me. Oh, yeah, here I am.
Back behind the curtain.
How you feeling? Man City away, Jack. How you feeling?
Well, after that package, I'm raring to go.
Yeah,
that was
good
brilliant.
stuff.
That was really good stuff. Yeah, look, I mean, if any Arsenal fans are watching, I apologise ahead of the game already. Newcastle's record at the Etihad is absolutely pathetic. We have never won there in the Premier League. We haven't even won there in the Premier League when it was called the City of Manchester Stadium. So before the takeover, we couldn't even win there when they were rubbish. So it's not great that Newcastle won there once. which was in the League Cup, and it was 2014-15, and Rolando Aarons scored, and Ryan Taylor was in midfield. So that's the new time we've actually
Who
won
scored?
Rolando Aarons.
Rolando Aarons.
Honestly, if he walked
That
in
is a
here and
new
sat
name.
opposite me, and you had to say, "Tell me who this is," and he had his name on the back of his shirt. I
You
wouldn't be
ask
able
the
to
question,
tell.
I'll look up his career.
yeah, do that.
Yeah, you have a look.
But I suppose, look, you've had a long trip in midweek, but at least, I mean, the defending from Karabag was absolutely extraordinary. It's like every time you looked up, Anthony Gordon was one-on-one. In fact, I don't know if he had a great game and he scored 4 times in the first half.
He probably about 8.
Shouldn't he? It was a really odd game, but still, you can't not come into the next game just feeling a bit good about yourselves if you've won 6-1.
Yeah, and I think also you go back to the Villa win as well, and then also beating Spurs, 3 away wins in a row when Newcastle have been absolutely terrible on the road this season, you know. So it was good to get 3 away wins in 3 different competitions. I think no matter whatever the level of opposition was like, Karabag, I think to still do that is impressive. And the Villa game was also a really good win. You know, Villa Park is a place that not many teams win at, and Newcastle went there, and we were also the better team at 11v11 before, obviously, but Bizot got sent off, and some of the worst refereeing decisions I've ever seen in my life went against us. We still got the victory, so it was great. And what's basically happened is there's just been a little change in the sort of system. So Nick Voltemade is dropped into midfield, essentially, and Anthony Gordon is playing up front, and that's just made us look a lot more like the Newcastle of old, because Gordon has that ability to press from the front, and that's how Newcastle have been their best for the entire time under Eddie Howe. We're a pressing team. With this Voltemade up front, it doesn't really happen. And what's also with Voltemade in midfield is he's linking the midfield and the attack really well. So he has only scored 1 goal, I suppose, in those games, but the team's playing much better with him in this new position. So I feel like we're going into this match actually with some confidence. It's not free hit though, by the way. You know, I don't agree with that. I think that we're 10th in the table. We've had a bang average season, but we're only 6 points off 6th. So we're still well in the race for Europe. We need to realistically get something from this game.
Yeah, you've won 10, lost 10. This season, so that is
scored 37, conceded 37. I think
it was properly average season.
It is so average,
and people were questioning Eddie Howe in the job a couple of weeks back. That doesn't feel like that's still alive. Is Europe keeping him above water?
I think after the Brentford game, that was the lowest I've seen Howe as Newcastle manager. You know, sort of questioning not his effort, but questioning what was happening on the pitch and if he was doing the right things. And in fairness to him, he has absolutely responded, and as I say, a little tweak in tactics has done it. And you saw after the Spurs game, he got pushed in front of the crowd by Trippier and Bruno, and he gave it a proper fist bump. It was like when we won the Carabao Cup, actually. He looked that emotional, and that's something you don't see from him very often at all. You know, he's very, very level-headed, isn't he? I mean, even after the Carabao game, it was like, is the tie over? No, still. He's 6-1 up. No, still not over. So that's what he's like, and I feel like it's been getting to him, to be honest, because he is someone who lives, breathes, and sleeps football. You know, he's admitting a few weeks ago that he doesn't sleep very often at all anyway. So you can tell that this season's been really impacting him, but it did feel like it was going a bit stale. Like I was watching the same thing over and over again. Like we couldn't break down. I mean, that Wolves 0-0 draw, we could have been playing till now and not scored. Like against Wolves, like it was incredible. It just seemed like they ran out of ideas. But as I say, a little tweak in the actual tactics, and a few players also stepping up as well. Like, I mean, Bruno Guimaraes is out for potentially 10 weeks. Newcastle's record without him is truly terrible. So to win 2 games without him shows that we can do it without our star player, and other players can step up and fill in. So it's starting to feel like the positivity's coming back.
Yeah, have the fans wavered on Eddie Howe? You know, because some of the criticism I've heard from sort of away from Newcastle is that he gets an easy ride from the local press. But I don't know if the fans have, you know, because what he has achieved with Newcastle has been very impressive. The expectations of fans go up naturally if you win a trophy, even if it's the first one in however many years. But have the fans sort of always been behind him?
So I think there's a difference. So I think online, and I know online's not always the best way to judge it, but equally that you can't just ignore the online fan base. You know, they are they do exist, and they have.
It'd be good if you could, though, wouldn't it?
It would be good. It would be good. You can't. So I think online it was more split than anything. I don't think it was a case of it all turned or anything. But it's St James's Park, Every game you hear Eddie Howe's Black and White Army over and over again. But there was boos at the end of the Brentford game, and that's the only time I can think of in a long, long time where Newcastle were booed off the pitch after a defeat at home to Brentford, and Brentford are actually a very good side. But equally, with Newcastle's run of like Man City away, PSG away, Liverpool away, it was kind of a case of we saw that game as like, right, we need 3 points from that, and to lose it from getting it back to 2-2 and delivering a really poor performance, I think was an issue. But I think the actual sort of fans who go all of the time, I don't think they've ever really wavered on Eddie Howe, and I think it would take a lot for them to. Equally, we still need to probably try and get European football though this season, like some form of it, because in the summer I think there will be a changing of the squad. I think a lot of these players are getting to the point where they've been brilliant for us, but if Newcastle are going to push on, some of them maybe need to move on, but you're not going to be able to attract the calibre of player maybe that you would like to if you haven't got any European football.
Yeah, good point. Hey, well, enjoy the game.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Enjoy the defeat, as you would say. Thank you, Jack. Jack Cunningham there from Inside the Toon, which is talkSPORT's Newcastle YouTube channel. And if you like podcasts, do you like them?
I like them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a future in them. But anyway,
podcasts, everything's filmed these days.
Are they?
Yeah,
well, I like keep it pure. Keep them pure. The latest episode of How to Win the World Cup, which is good, is live. Matt Ford and Lloyd Griffith sit down with Henry Winter to discuss his experience of covering 9 World Cups in a row. He qualified for 9 World Cups in a row, Henry Winter.
He's so good.
He's so good at qualification. And then the fans' expectations. But does he let the handbrake off when he gets to the tournament? Come on, Winter. Let the go wild. Go a little wild. How much the media can influence what happens on the pitch. They can't. Can they? We can't believe that we affect what happens on the pitch. Is Thomas Tuchel listening to me and you right now thinking, whoever they say next will play in the 10 for England? Go on then. Phil Stamp. Okay, now we'll see. We'll see. Wait for the World Cup.
Stamp turns up in the 10.
Who knew the power that we had? You can listen to How to Win the World Cup on Spotify, however you get your podcasts. It's all just write talkSPORT in whatever your podcast platform is. You'll see a whole list of podcasts and listen to them all immediately. Well, not immediately because time difference is next.
They've changed the manager, which is what the fans wanted. I was at their last home game against Newcastle United, and it just felt like the players were completely on the floor, just didn't have the answers, didn't look interested or committed to the manager's plan. How will it be different under Igor Tudor, and has he had enough time to work with his players, Crook?
I'm intrigued by this appointment because obviously one of the main factors is he's proven in the past that he can come into a team in a difficult situation, give them an uplift, put wins on the board, which obviously Spurs need to steer themselves away from relegation danger. But as Southampton found with Ivan Juric last season, who had a similar profile, there's a big difference between doing that in European leagues and coming into the Premier League and doing it. I do think you're right. I think the atmosphere around the stadium will be a lot more positive on Sunday than it has been previously. I think the change of manager, the fact it's not Thomas Frank anymore as much as anything, makes this a more difficult fixture for Arsenal. But what happens if they go behind early? What happens if they lose this game? That lightning rod effect that the Spurs hierarchy are obviously hoping for suddenly evaporates quite quickly.
Yeah, it's slightly different in terms of the profile of the manager. I mean, you keep comparing Juric to Tudor, but Juric basically only managed teams in Italy, Genoa and Hellas Verona down the bottom of the table. Igor Tudor has managed Marseille, Lazio and Juventus. So it is a slightly different
How many of those were in relegation trouble when he took over? Because that's where Spurs are.
Let's go live to Comrex 4, for there's always time for time difference.
Always.
And hosting and scoring. He's a man of two talents. It is Jeff Toppers-Peters. Welcome, Jeff Peters.
Great DJ as well.
Zero talent.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
Jeff, I've heard your joke writing ability, and it is
pretty good.
The critics are calling it long.
Well, I'm at Watford today, and there's obviously a lot of images of.
Who's their manager today? Quique Sanchez Florence.
It's the man that what you hear at the barbers is keep your head still.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh yeah,
so,
very nice.
Lots of Elton John imagery around the ground here, and I could do an Elton John joke. It's a little bit funny.
Oh, nice.
Right, so anyway, on to time difference. This is the quiz where our two contestants, Max and Charlie, have to guess the times when goals were scored. 5 of them, margin of error will build. The person with the lowest overall score wins. The person trailing at any point gets a direct hit on the goal time. The scores revert to 0-0. However, we're not live, are we?
Jeff.
If the person trailing gets a direct hit on the final goal, and if that would see them actually have a lower score, then they will be crowned winner. Trust me, stay with it. Max won last week, but Charlie leads 4-3 this year. So Max first, goal number 1.
Okay.
Monday night, Macclesfield Town 0, Brentford 1, live on talkSPORT. In which minute did Sam Heathcote's own goal secure Brentford's place in round 5?
70th minute.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Was it? I had 2 times in my head, and that was.
Well, I've got 1 time up. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to go too far behind. So I'm just going to have to say the 68th minute.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
Hickey only underlap, gets to the byline. No crossing to the near post, it's headed into his own net by Heathcote.
That goal went in standard in the 70th minute.
Very good. Well done, Max.
With a direct hit. Max 0, Charlie 2. And on
I had the 38th minute in my head for some reason.
It's okay.
Completely wrong.
You can have numbers in your head. Yeah.
Right, goal number 2 to Charlie. Tuesday night, Benfica 0, Real Madrid 1. Live on talkSPORT 2. In which minute did Vinny Jr. give Madrid that lead to take back to Spain?
A 72nd minute.
What a brilliant goal. And what a shame. Okay, I think it was second. I'll go 70th minute.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
Right-footed shot, what a goal! Oh, what a hit from Vinicius Jr.
Great comms.
Fantastic stuff from Ian down to that. Went in the 50th minute. So Max is 20 out, moves on to 20. Charlie 22 out, moves on to 24. Goal 3, Max, Wednesday night. Wolves 2, Arsenal 2, live on talkSPORT. In which minute did Piero, is it Hincapié? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Hincapié. Okay.
Make it 2-0 to the Gunners.
It was 2-0 in the 53rd minute.
54th minute.
Let's see how that goal went in.
Capier's clear, left-footed shot, 2-0, and they are roaring 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
Oh, Joe Shannon went early there with that comms.
Yeah, he did.
Joe is. I love Joe.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? Big Joe Shannon.
Right, that goal went in the 56th minute. So Max 3 out onto 23, Charlie 2 out onto 26.
What a
so
game.
3 in it, 2 to go, and Charlie to guess first on goal number 4. Wednesday night, Carrier Bag 1, Newcastle 6. Live on talkSPORT 2. In which minute did Anthony Gordon seal his hat trick? Charlie Baker.
Okay.
52nd minute.
I mean, I'm going to say 10 minutes ago we talked about how he scored 4 in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite a long time ago, though.
The 52nd minute isn't too far off the
No,
first
you're right.
half.
I think he got his hat trick. God, it could have been really early. 23.
Let's see how that goal went in.
And there it is. 15 seconds from the kick-off, if that. Anthony
it was
Gordon
even
has
earlier,
a
wasn't it?
Champions League hat-trick for Newcastle.
I was
12th minute.
It was the 33rd minute.
Right.
So Max is 10 minutes out onto 33. Charlie 19 minutes out onto 45. So the gap is 12.
12.
With
The gap is
1
12.
to go.
12, yeah.
Okay, that's
The
all right.
gap-
Okay.
The gap
And you've been on a
is 12.
decent
Well,
run.
the game,
One
we've
last
been on a
week,
good
yeah.
run.
So Max, because you're in the lead, and to avoid any housery, you go first
Of course,
on this one.
yeah.
Thursday night, Fenerbahce 0, Nottingham Forest 3. Live on talkSPORT 2. In which minute did Murillo give the Tricky Trees the lead in Turkey, or however it's pronounced these days?
Murillo.
Do you know?
Is this the way to...
Show me the way
Yeah.
to score Murillo. Opening goal, was it?
Yeah, to give
They were all in the
Forest the
second
lead,
half.
yes. Yeah.
They were all in the second half.
Max to go first.
45th minute.
So, you think they were all in the second half, or are you trying to trick me?
Who knows?
I think you're trying to trick me. 58th minute. Wrong way, Regals.
Let's see how
Wrong way,
that goal
Regals.
went in.
Regals did.
His way to the edge of the opposing penalty area, and
Should have gone the other way.
scored the first goal of the Vitor Pereira.
What a shame.
era.
That goal went in the 21st
You're a cheat,
minute.
Max. You're a
Forest
trickster.
were 2-0
You're a
up at
tricker.
half-time.
Not a cheat.
Igor
tricker.
Jesus scored just before the break to
Hey,
make it
thanks,
2-0.
Jeff.
Put
Thanks.
doubt in my mind.
Max wins, and it's 4-all.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Max.
Me and Baz back tomorrow at 11. Keep listening to talkSPORT. GameDay Live next.
But when you hear these comments that he's come out with now, to say he cannot get the best out of the players that have come in, if that those words just come out of his mouth, then as an owner, you've got no choice now. You have to say, like, okay, he's coming out now publicly and saying he can't get the best out of top players as well, by the way. Brendan Johnson is a very good player. Okay, you can't get the best out
Is
of
he
him.
daring the board to sack him?
It sounds
100%.
It sounds like it. And by the way, I know that they missed out on Dwight McDeal. That deal didn't quite get over the line on deadline day. But there was a lot of optimism in the Palace hierarchy because of the addition of Brendan Johnson, because Jurgen Strand-Larsen has come in and obviously scored a couple of excellent goals. Guessond as well. And they kept Mateta. He's not fit at the moment, but should be back sometime soon. They feel there are more than enough weapons in that Palace team to be winning games of football.